A very good afternoon to all of you who are joining us from
Mhm.
India, and a very good morning to those of you who are joining us from Europe. My name is Samrat, and together with the EU delegation to India, the Ministry of Earth Sciences, with the European Commission's support, we are very happy to bring to you an exciting networking event today. It is on the EU-India cooperation on cumulative impacts
Mhm.
of marine pollution on marine organisms and ecosystems. It is under the Horizon Europe Cluster 6 call on zero pollutions. This is also under the framework of the EU-India Trade and Technology Council. And what we're going to do today is we're having a very interesting lineup of speakers who will present you the kind of rationale, the background of this coordinated call. They will also explain you the scope, the modalities of this call, the eligibility criteria, both from the European and Indian side. And we will also have a very dedicated and intensive session on flash presentations, on our pitching,
Mhm.
project idea, and expertise offer. So that means that the researchers, the scientists who are interested to apply for this call are looking for consortium partners. This is the opportunity today, a very good platform to kind of do some networking. So we also invite everyone here to use the chat function to introduce yourself, to leave your contact details behind, maybe to use some keywords to present your idea, your expertise. At the same time, we really request you to use the chat only for the networking purposes and the Q&A function for posing any questions to the speakers and presenters today. And also, we have to keep a strict time regime because we have a lot of speakers and presenters today. So I won't take much more of your time. I'm very happy that we can organize this event for you both in Europe and in India. And I'm very happy also to welcome our speakers for the opening session of today's event. First of all, I would like to give a warm welcome to Mr. Antonio Marquez Camacho, who is the policy officer at the DG RTD European Commission, joining us from Brussels. Antonio, you and your team
Mhm.
have been together with the ministries here in India, Ministry of Earth Science, behind this coordinated call, and we're very happy to have you with us to give some opening remarks to the participants
Mhm.
today. Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Samrat. Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm really very happy to be here today. This is a little bit the culmination of at least the first, let's say, it's the end of the beginning. So the end of the beginning, meaning like we of course have a long process now from today for this call. But indeed, we've been working together with the Indian with our Indian counterparts, with the Ministry of Earth Sciences, and also with the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to really build up this important call on this topic of mutual interest to both India and the EU. So we're also very happy to see that indeed there is a strong interest in terms of participants today, and also in terms of the presentations and the pitching sessions that we're going to have later on. From my side, I would just like to underline that of course this call, as maybe other colleagues or other experts who have already been working on other topics related at least to this area, is just one, of course, of several calls and several cooperation that we have been having in the past between the EU and the European Union and India. We have a long-standing cooperation with our science and technology agreement for more than 20 years, and we are now reinforcing this cooperation. Especially this call is under the framework, we have developed it under the framework of the relatively recent EU-India Trade and Technology Council, and more specifically our working group on green and clean energy technologies. So this is really one area in which the EU and India have agreed that we need to work together. We want to get together. We want to get results and develop innovative technologies to deal with pressing issues of interest to both, but also in fact, especially for this topic of concern to everyone, because of course the issue of marine pollution affects all countries. So we are really very happy to see that there is this interest, and we expect that this will lead to a strong joint research and joint cooperation between Indian and EU partners to find more innovative solutions to deal with this topic. Hopefully, this will of course benefit both India, the EU, and more widely the rest of countries that are also affected by this important problem. So I will just stop here. So just to encourage everyone to really listen carefully and hopefully to get all the information they need for applying for this call. And then of course I wish you all the best in the process starting today in terms of preparing possible proposals, submitting proposals, and then of course for the evaluation and possible selection of your proposals in the next months. So I'm really very happy to hear and also to listen what will be presented already today by the various interested partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Antonio, for your opening remarks and also giving a bit of the background, the context of this call. And as you said, it's the beginning of the end. So basically, there has been a lot of work being done in the past in the preparation together with the Indian counterparts, as you said. And we're very happy also to have Dr. Hafsa Ahmed with us. She's the scientist at the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India. And Antonio already mentioned it has been in together hand in hand with the PSA and also with the Ministry of Earth Science to create this coordinated call. And today we are here actually to present it and hoping for a lot of interest and participation and project proposals. Dr. Hafsa, thank you so much for joining us, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Samrat. So, Commander Srivastava, Dr. Anil, Dr. Marigudor, and other colleagues from the Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India, friends from the EU, Dr. Dham, Pierrick, and all others from the EU delegation, and Antonio representing the Directorate General RNI of European Commission. All the potential participants of the call, researchers, startups, and scientists who joined us across from India and the EU. A very warm good afternoon, good morning to all of you. I'm very pleased to join you all in this sensitization cum brokerage event today. And like Antonio has said, I would just take a moment to introduce you to a little bit of the background of this cooperation, just to tell you how important this platform is, the Trade and Technology Council. So this is a strategic coordination and engagement on trade and technology, which was first formally announced in April 2022. Later, this became the cornerstone for establishment of the TTC platform as such, after the bilateral cooperation meeting between the Honorable Prime Minister of India and the President of the European Commission in February 2023. On the Indian side, the Trade and Technology Council is co-chaired by the Ministers of External Affairs, Commerce and Industry, and Electronics and Information Technology. And within the framework of the Trade and Technology Council, we have three working groups. The working group 2, which is on green and clean energy technologies, is co-chaired by the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India on the Indian side, and the DGRTD of European Commission from the EU side. The other two working groups, they deal with strategic technologies, digital governance and digital connectivity, and with trade, investment, and resilient value chains. The Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India has been coordinating the activities under three identified thematic areas, which is marine plastic litter, green hydrogen, and battery recycling technologies, under this particular working group. Both the India and the EU had agreed to consider joint research cooperation through exceptional coordinated calls in these three thematic areas. And to reach to a stage where we are today, an initial joint scoping exercise was undertaken, wherein the scoping papers were jointly developed. They were deliberated upon and endorsed through scoping workshops. These concept papers really form the basis of the scope of the coordinated calls that we will be talking about today. The Ministry of Earth Sciences has been leading the effort on the marine plastics thematic area, with facilitation and convergence from the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor and the team at the EU delegation to India. This has been formally launched on the 6th of May 2025 on the Indian side, and this remains open till 23rd of September. It is very heartening to see that we could reach this far, and I'm very optimistic about the RNI cooperation, which will actually get fostered through this call. Today's events provides an opportunity to potential participants to understand the scope and guidelines of this call and also to be part of the pitching sessions. We are very grateful to all the experts from both the sides who contributed in the scoping exercise and to the teams from both the sides for putting together the context and contributing to its formal launch. I extend my best wishes to all the participants and hope for the success of this important initiative. Thank you, Samrat. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hafsa, for your kind and generous opening remarks, and again, endorsing the great collaboration which has been behind today's event, but also with the call which has been launched. And I'm also very happy to welcome Dr. Peki Srivastava. He is a scientist and head of international at the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Dr. Prashant, thank you so much for joining us, and we would also be very happy to listen to your opening remarks for today's event. Thank you.
Thank you, Samrat. Hope I'm audible to everyone. Very good afternoon, good morning to all the participants. On behalf of Ministry of Earth Sciences and on behalf of my colleagues, Dr. Anil and our Institute scientists, Dr. Mari Gowder and Ramu. I welcome all the participants for today's afternoon engagement on this call scoping discussions. We look forward to the discussions throughout the afternoon, and I'm sure we'll come out with some very interesting proposals as the day progresses. On behalf of the ministry, it has really been a challenging time to get the call together in a very short duration. We know we have put in some efforts, but equally thankful to the Office of say and to Dr. Vivek and Perry from the EU delegation here who supported us and helped us to guide us through this phase. As Hafsa has already pointed out, the background and the details of the call, I would not like to dwell much upon it, but what I would like to highlight here is that this call clearly reaffirms our shared commitments, India and EU's shared commitments on addressing global environmental challenges through collaboration and innovation. As the call for the marine pollution and ecosystem impact is out from our side, the clear objective is to monitor and mitigate cumulative impacts of marine pollutants, including microplastics, heavy metals, etc. And we look forward to the calls coming out from the participants and the consortium in this regard. This call is also very much aligned with our overall initiatives of India's national marine litter policy, which we are in the process of formulating, as well as EU's zero pollution action plan, and closely aligning with the UN Decade of Ocean Science. So there is a lot of synergy and I would say a global ecosystem around marine pollution, a very burning topic for all of us. We look forward to develop through this call new analytical tools for pollution detection, generate scientific insights to inform evidence-based policy making, and strengthen the cooperation on marine ecosystem protection. I would not like to go further right now and look forward to the participant, but I would say that all the best to everyone, and this collaborative call will definitely help us to strengthen our bilateral collaborations and strengthen our leadership in the global environmental protection areas through this call. Thank you very much, Samrat.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prashant, for your kind words and also highlighting the importance of this call, of this collaborative efforts, and also the giving a kind of the objectives, what is important for both for the government of India and the Ministry of Earth Sciences and the European Commission. So with that, I think we conclude our opening session and we dive into the specificities of the call. And I'm very happy to welcome Dr. S.R. Mariguder from the National Center for Coastal Research, Ministry of Earth Sciences, who will now give a presentation on the scope of the call. Dr. Mariguder, a very good afternoon to you. I hope you are with us.
Yes, yes. Very good afternoon. Very good afternoon. Warm greetings. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, sir. The floor is yours.
I'm just sharing the PowerPoint here.
Yes.
Is this, can you able to see the presentation?
Yes, sir. Clear, very clear. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Just I will not go back to the background of this. I will be straight away talking about the scope of this call. And this particular call is on Horizon Clip 6 2025, basically for the zero pollution. And it is between India, Europe, cooperation on cumulative impacts of these pollutants and specifically on marine pollution. When we look back, the overview of this call is this started the India-EU partnership governed by the agreement which came into existence in 2022 with our Honorable Prime Minister and the European Commission President, which was signed in 2022. And TTC is a very key forum for deepening the trade and technology engagement, and which prioritizes joint research under the working group 2, as Hafsa has already explained, on clean and green technologies. The call Horizon Clip 6 targets the cumulative impacts of marine pollution on ecosystems by joint funding from India and as well as European Horizon program. And this collaboration actually aligns the India's national priorities with India EU expertise, fostering innovative solutions for a cleaner environment. When we did the scoping paper of this, we could able to understand the knowledge gaps by through different kinds of dialogues between India and Europe experts participated, and wherein we could able to identify that there are the three major key areas where the knowledge gaps are existing, like environmental impact and long-term effect, sources and pathways, and specifically standards procedures for mapping hotspots, including tracing and leakage of these, particularly marine plastics as well as other marine pollutants like organic and inorganic. And the second part of this is the technology apps for both monitoring as well as for mitigation, which may involve different kinds of technologies like modeling and automated measurements, remote sensing, and artificial intelligence, recycling, biodegradable alternatives, etc. All these comes into the technology gaps for both monitoring and mitigation. And the third pillar of this is the policy implementation gaps, where the coordination, enforcement, incentives, as well as monitoring and citizen participation, as well as community engagement and multifaceted approaches are required. These are the three major gaps wherein we need to focus on research and innovation. And we also need to look into the waste management technologies and strengthening the policy frameworks, which will foster the public-private partnerships as well as engaging local communities in these activities. And the major R&D activity focuses on source to sink under the domain of which can be like analytical techniques as well as impacts, and what are the rapid detection, quantification, and hazard identification things, as well as impact assessment and the risk. Good. And as far as scope for marine pollution is concerned, we all know that marine pollutants, many of these organic and inorganic contaminants are having a very harmful and negative impacts on this marine life, marine animals, as well as wildlife, as well as the ecosystems. Ultimately, this affects the goods and services which are being provided by this marine environment, and ultimately on human health also, and well-being and prosperity of the country. So therefore, it is not just a regional problem, it's a global problem that requires concerted efforts to understand. And these are some of the gaps, like the cumulative impacts, where different kinds of marine pollutants, because organic, inorganic, and emerging pollutants, there are plethora of contaminants which are coming into that. So once they are having a cumulative impact, it's a very complex process wherein this needs to be understood through a concerted, coordinated programs, as well as one of the other major area is the micro and nanoplastics, nanomaterials, biodegradable products, and microbial contaminants also. these are also having an impact on not only on marine ecosystems, including on human health. The associated risks from these are not fully understood. So therefore, we also need to look into the interplay of how these marine pollutants have an interplay among climate change and the bigger adversaries like ocean acidification and including actual and predictable changes what are happening in terms of bioavailability, toxicity, as well as how the water quality is getting affected. These needs to be examined, including for health implications following One Health approach. I'll just brief about, go to the next. Just brief about what is the One Health and marine pollution concept, how it is interconnected. As we all know that marine pollution is a growing concern and it is having a larger impact, and global impacts are also there. And many of these pollutants are transboundary in nature, not just local. And these are having an impact on ecosystem as well as animal health. And in turn, they are affecting human health also. And these are having a local relevance as well as regional and relevances are there, where we need to engage with the coastal communities who are directly and indirectly dependent on these coastal and ocean resources. So therefore, there is a holistic approach is required under the One Health, which recognizes that human, animal, and environment health are interconnected. So this emphasizes collaborative efforts are required across the disciplines to address complex health challenges. So integrated monitoring of marine ecosystems, wildlife, and human health to detect and mitigate pollution effects, these are of prime important. And we should also involve community-based initiatives which promote sustainable practices and waste reduction. So, so what exactly in this scope, what we would like to see in the proposals is we have clearly defined in this call specifically like new technological tools, methods, and sensors for the screening and rapid detection for identification and monitoring of different kinds of pollutants in this marine environment. This may involve source assessment or apportionment approach. This may involve intelligent monitoring surveillance systems. This may also have to see what would be the impact of these marine pollutants on ecosystems, biodiversity, environment, and socioeconomic problems also needs to be addressed under the risk assessment once these kind of contaminants are having an impact on these marine ecosystems. Then we should look into how these are going to help us in mitigation measures and policy. So this may also involve as well as industry as well as public participation, which are major elements for implementation and implementation of policy to control and mitigate pollution. And another component is the risk assessment and impacts. This requires advanced assessment of these risk in real conditions and how they are accumulating and what would be the exposure in terms of short-term and long-term impacts, and how these are having cascading impacts on individual and as well as population levels and ecosystem as a whole. This may also involve many of these biological functions, like it may have impacts on growth, reproduction, fertility, and metabolic activities also. All these, whatever changes which are happening because of these chemical contaminants at the physiological levels and metabolic levels has to be assessed. So this does not just limited to the marine organisms or ecosystems. It also involves the vulnerable populations like pelagic and benthic communities, including seafood and human health consumption. And one of the biggest problem, as I explained in the previous slide also, saying that the cumulative impact, that is the cocktail impacts, when the contaminants, when they reach to the ocean sources, marine environment, it becomes complex because of different kinds of synergistic impacts that we need to analyze the impacts in combination of these different kinds of pollutants and their degradation pathways, transport, and how they are having an impact on this marine ecosystem, and how do they involve in terms of climate change. And the last one is the marine food chain and human health, which will assess the bioaccumulation, biomagnification, how it is from a species level to the ecosystem and population and human health. So in a nutshell, what these joint efforts and studies may concentrate also on riverines and stream fluxes, and once it reaches into the marine environment, seafloor, in terms of litter accumulation, as well as other kinds of marine contaminants which may accumulate in the sediments, which can tell the story about sediment accumulations and past history of these chemical contaminants and their presence in this marine environment. Like we can go for identification of these hotspot zones and causes for this kind of accumulations that are happening in the sea floors. And the third component would be like steady diverse impacts like ingestion and entanglement, how these plastic as well as other contaminants interplay with each other, and such a kind of diverse impacts can also be studied. And the additive chemical interactions, these are the additives which are being used in many of these manufacturing of these chemicals, as well as marine litter, specifically plastics. In their life cycle, whatever chemicals that are being used, that these are terming as additive chemicals, and they also have different kinds of, they release continuous release of contaminants and secondary metabolites and all these things. There are many transport modes. These can also be addressed. And more important is developing advanced sampling and analytical techniques which are across diverse environments, as I was explaining in the previous slides. So this is very important to upgrade the automation, remote sensing, and aerial detections, artificial intelligence. This needs to be explored. So there are overcoming methodological inconsistencies are required. There are challenges in data comparison and global estimates. So therefore, this kind of advanced sampling and analytical techniques needs to be adopted in terms of implementation of these projects. And we should also focus on economic impact assessments like fisheries, tourism, and maritime industries, and understand overall when we get into these all outcomes from this scope of the work, we can develop effective mitigation management strategies. So what we say is proposals can include the major elements like research and development, focusing on marine pollution, One Health approach, as well as marine litter. Then innovative technological solutions up to the pilot scale technological solutions can be used, which will be useful in mitigation measures. And it can also provide some kind of solution to mitigate the pollution at the source. Then capacity building in terms of workshop training and skilled manpower development, and trade policy and citizen participation is very important. Source to sink approaches and all these things to control and ameliorate amelioration kind of technical solutions required. And these can create potential paths for the opportunities for green jobs, as well as we can find out a sustainable solutions for the to control and mitigate this marine pollution. To take it to the EU side, they have the goal to achieve the zero pollution by 2030, and similarly in 2070 in India. And we also have both the countries are having national as well as international commitments that needs to be addressed. So proposals must be very succinct, and it should clearly state what are the in the summary can be put it in terms of tables, and logical frameworks can be used. There should be a clear objectives and sub objectives that needs to be addressed, and activities that needs to be taken up towards these objectives, and methodology what it is going to be adopted, and quantifiable deliverables and outputs. And these outcomes should be measurable ones, so that the proposals will be very good in nature. With this, I think this is all about the scope. If there are any questions, we can answer. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Marigodar, for presenting the scope of the call. Unfortunately, there was a technical issue with the webinar, so many of the attendees could only join now. So maybe could you just maybe in a few lines just maybe repeat the key messages, if that would be possible. We will also make this webinar available. We will share the recording and the presentation of Dr. Marigodar. But since we have him live here and the participants, just joined a few minutes back due to some technical issues, Dr. Marigold, would you kindly would you mind to just repeat in a few sentences again the scope of the call?
Yeah, this is. Can you go to the slide again?
I'm so sorry for that technical glitch.
It's just a second. I'm just sharing it back again.
Yes, thank you so much.
So go to the next one. I will just brief. This is the overview what how we are there here with the India-EU partnership for as per the agreement that TTC Trade and Technology Council, which was agreed in 2022 by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, as well as the European Commission President. And as a part of this, there is a working group to clean and green technologies. Under that, this call particularly Horizon on Clip 6 2025 zero pollution. This targets the cumulative impacts of marine pollution and ecosystems. We can go to the next one. So there are three major elements. These knowledge gaps are existing in terms of research and innovation, and we need to look into the waste management technologies, strengthening of policy frameworks, and there are R&D components which can be worked from the source to sink of these marine contaminants, and then we can have the impact assessment as well as risk from an individual level to the population, ecosystem, as well as human health. So the major three elements would be environmental impact, long-term effects, source and pathways, and these are the major elements of the first component, right from the source of these contaminants, how they are entering, and what are the technological gaps which can augment the monitoring and mitigation that can be used. Already certain kinds of modelings and automated measurements are used. How we can improve all these technological gaps and the policy implementation gaps like coordination, enforcement, incentives, and as well as upscaling of these monitoring mechanisms through the participation of public and community engagement. And the entire scope of this call is marine pollution. The main idea is to completely mitigate and control the pollutants which are entering into the marine environment. And we also need to look into what are the kinds of impacts these marine pollutants are having on marine animals as well as wildlife, and what are the impacts on these, particularly on marine ecosystems, ultimately human health and well-being and prosperity of the countries. And three major gaps which we could find is there are cumulative effects. This needs to be addressed from organic, inorganic, and other emerging contaminants. And another one is the plastic problem, right from micro to nanoplastics, how they are having an impact, and new kind of nanomaterials, biodegradable products, and microbiological contaminants, how they are having an impact. These things needs to be looked from the angle of how these are having an interplay with the climate change, ocean acidification, how these pollutants are having actual and what would be the actual and predicted changes in their bioavailability, how the toxicity is having an impact at an individual level and at a population level. So therefore, we should look at from the angle of One Health approach. Go to the next one. So here I am just briefing about One Health approach is mainly which encompasses not only the environment and animals living in it, ecosystem, and human health. So it's it's a holistic integration of these all together. This recognizes all, including human health, animal and environment health are interconnected, and we need a collaborative efforts across disciplines to address such kind of complex health challenges. We need to integrate monitoring of marine ecosystems, wildlife, and human health, and also to mitigate the pollution effects. And community-based initiatives promoting sustainable practices and waste reduction are very important things. And we would like to see in this proposal is mainly new analytical tools, methods, and sensors for screening and rapid detection of pollutants and monitoring of different kinds of pollutants in the marine environment. And we can use kind of like source assessment, apportionment approach, then intelligent monitoring and surveillance systems. And then we can have the impact assessments like ecosystem, biodiversity, environment. It involves all whole lot of socio-economic conditions are also coming under the impact assessments. And finally, to take up the mitigation measures and policy, how these proposals can contribute in terms of public participation as well as policy. We would also like to see the proposals in terms of risk assessment and impacts. And this can have from these risk can be generated from these pollutants which are being present in these marine environments. These can have a short-term exposure or long-term exposure. They can accumulate in these organisms for a longer period of time in particular organisms as well as in the ecosystems. Then we need to look these kind of risk and impacts in terms of biological functions like reproduction, fertility, metabolism, then neurobiological and physiological changes, what actually happening at the individual level. And it also includes vulnerable populations also, which are like pelagic and benthic communities, including seafood for human consumption. This also needs to be addressed. Then, as explained already, cumulative impacts, it's a synergistic impact and a combination of different pollutants exerts this kind of impact on organisms as well as the ecosystem that needs to be addressed, along with the adversaries like climate change and ocean acidification. And marine food chain and human health needs to be assessed in terms of bioaccumulation, biomagnification, how exactly it is being transferred across the marine food chain as well as human health. And joint studies can be there right from the sources like riverine to the marine environment, and what would be the diverse impact of these contaminants, and what are those contaminants which are along with the certain kinds of materials like plastics, how these are coming up with the additive chemical interactions, and how they are behaving in actual environmental condition, freight and transport, and developing advanced kinds of sampling technologies like it may involve analytical techniques across diverse environments like specifically automation, remote sensing, or aerial detection, artificial intelligence. All these kind of technologies can be used. And we can also have economic impact assessments, including fisheries, tourism, and maritime industries. And so that the concerted efforts could be useful in developing and effective mitigation management strategies. So proposals can include basically the bigger picture is R&D, research and development, how these chemical contaminants right from the sources to the sink, how they are having an impact on the marine organisms that can be studied in the research and development, and innovative technological solutions, how we can build innovative technological solutions at least at the demonstration level, and capacity building, trade and policy, citizen participation, source to sink approaches, and how these technologies, R&D, and innovative solutions could be useful in control and mitigation of these marine pollution. And these can create potential paths to job opportunities in terms of green jobs. So proposals must be very succinct and clearly state. It should contain a summary of tables that should have a logical framework, that should have objectives and sub-objectives and activities taken up towards these objectives. What are the methodologies adopted? What are the quantifiable measures and outputs and measurable outcomes? So these all elements should be present in the proposal.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Dr. Marigodor, thank you so much. It's so kind of you to go back to your presentation. I think it was very important and helpful for those participants who were not able to join from the beginning. But as I said, we will make the recording available and the presentation, and Dr. Marigodor will also be here with us for the question and answer sessions. I would now suggest, because looking also at the time, that we maybe move to the next, which is the guidelines for proposal and preparation submission to that presentation. And then we'd have a joint Q&A together with you, Dr. Marigodor. And would that be okay for you?
Thank you. Thank you. That's okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So I would then now say we move to the next part of today's event is, as I said, guidelines for proposal preparation and submission. This presentation will be presented by Dr. Vivek Dham from the EU delegation and Dr. Anil Kumar Vijayan, who is from the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Dr. Vivek, Dr. Anil Kumar, thank you so much. Please, the floor is yours.
Uh, Thank you, Samrat. I'm just going to share my screen and I will start with that. Okay, could you please confirm it is a full screen?
Not yet, Vivek. Now it's
Yeah,
full screen.
okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, so just a minute. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a brief outline. What is the guidelines for application? This is a joint presentation of European side from the EU Horizon as well as from the Ministry of Earth Sciences. So I'm trying to fuse the two modalities together. So it is a bit challenging for me, but I will try to be as clear as possible. But before I start my presentation, I request all of you to please share your contact details, email, institute name, and your name in a chat so that you can start networking. Because of the GDPR regulations, we are not able to share anyone's email addresses officially. So I request all of you to please write your names, email addresses in chat, and that could help the people to connect to each other and take the discussion forward. We also value much your participation, the huge number. So we highly appreciate that enthusiasm, and that gives us a more responsibility to make it more efforts to go into this joint efforts of collaboration. So I will give you a brief outline. This is my presentation outline. I will not go into the details because all this information is quite well explained on Horizon Europe, guidelines as well as the Ministry of Earth Sciences guidelines for proposals. But I'm just giving you some keywords that might help you to go into the details later on. So I think Antonio Apsam had already mentioned about what the TTC is all about. So the rationale behind this strategic, forum or platform is that we want technologies for tackling the societal challenges, and that technologies needs to be green and clean, and we want that technology to be implemented very fast so that the solutions are imminent to the society, so without compromising the quality of the product. So that is why we are bringing best people from Europe and India together to find to find the solutions to these societal challenges. So basically, this is a jointly funded calls. So from the European Commission side, through Horizon Europe program, the Commission is investing 12 million euros. From the Indian government side is Ministry of Earth Science, which is investing 90 crores for Indian participants. I will not go into the details of the scope because Dr. Marigauda had already explained. So these are the call details. So please note down the call ID. This is where on a Horizon Europe tender portal, all the information for the scope and impact of the call will be available, as well as on the MOES website. This is a research and innovation action. What does it mean? It includes the actions from TRL 3 to TRL 5. So if you look at this entire scope of the call, we are looking into more technology oriented projects. We are looking for a solution oriented projects. So when you are preparing a proposal, try to make this particular point that you are bringing a new dimension, new technologies which are cost effective and affordable to the society. So that is what the entire rationale about this particular call. This is a single stage submission. So for complete proposals needs to be submitted. So the first submission is on the Horizon Europe tender portal on 17th of September, and it will close sharp at 5 p.m. Brussels time. So this particular submission should be done by the European side coordinator And then there is a we had given a 4 to 5 days time gap so that the scientific proposals, which is part B, which is jointly developed by the two sides, will be extracted by the European coordinator and shared with the Indian coordinator so that he or she, the coordinator, Indian coordinator, can submit complete scientific proposals along with the financial requirement of the MOES. So I will come to that later, but there are first submission at Horizon Europe, that is on 17 September, and the Indians can take 4 or 5 days to submit to Ministry of Earth Sciences. The budget I already mentioned, 12 million euros. We are anticipating 5 to 6 million per projects for a European consortium. On 90 crores from Indian side, we anticipate around 40 to 45 crores per project for an Indian consortium. We anticipate around two projects to be funded for duration of 3 to 4 years. Again, the specific scope, as it is EU-India call, so the Commission had explicitly mentioned at least one. We anticipate three actually, but at least one Indian entities to be participate into the consortium, and they can participate as an associated partner. I will come to that as well. And that is why, to have a balanced consortium, the MOES has explicitly mentioned that the participation of minimum three legal entities from India should be independent from each other, and three from European side is requested. The TRL level is not explicitly mentioned into the call, but what we anticipate, and that is what the MOES had already given the details in their website, that we anticipate that the technology to be developed and DRL could be reached up to 5 at the end of the project. So this is what the basic eligibility conditions which are available on Horizon Europe portal as well as on Ministry of Earth Sciences portal web guidelines. So again, I will repeat this quite a few times because a lot of people who are not familiar with the European program, this is a multilateral program. So you need minimum three European partners from three different European countries. Okay. Out of those three partners, one partner has to be from European member state. You can have two more partners either from European member state or associated country. I will come to that point, and plus one or more. So the MOE said that three. So basic formula that you need at least three Europeans on board and the three Indians on board, minimum requirement. But on an average, the climate change marine proposals in past, which we had funded, it has a consortium of around 10 to 15 people from Europe and India. So it is all depend on the scope of the call. Then Samrat, just let me know at 3:10 to stop it. So gender equality plan. So make it sure that your proposal have this specific gender equality plan integrated because that had been part of the evaluation criteria. So please pay attention to that. Again, I will not repeat. The 3+3 is the mandatory. In addition to that, what MOES had mentioned explicitly that out of these three Indian entities, one has to be publicly funded entity so that the fund transfer will be much easy. The proposal must be jointly developed by European and Indian consortium together. TRL level 5. Duration is 3 to 4 years, and all the information is available on the guidelines on Horizon as well as MOES. Basically, what we are looking at, the European consortium will study the European ecosystem. The Indian consortium will study the Indian ecosystem, east and of both the coast. But we need these two groups of European and Indian consortiums to work very coordinated way so that they can share their knowledge, technologies, expertise, and co-develop the technologies together. That is why the proposal, when you are preparing, the majority of this particular has to be well coordinated, well synergized when you are formulating this proposal. That is the scientific proposal, and we are terming it as a part B. That is a part B of a Horizon template. So make sure the proposal has to be jointly developed. So these are the TRL level. This is very classical. Those who are familiar, I will not go into the details, but what does the TRL 5 means? The large scale prototype we are anticipating. That is why the European as well as the MOES had highly encouraged participation of industry, startups, SMEs into the consortium so that the technology dimension is included. So your Bible, very authentic documents to find all the information is Horizon Europe funding and tender portal. That is the keyword. In search, you just copy the title of the topic code number, and you will get the call text. And below that, there will be a submission button for the European coordinators to fulfill. Similarly, the information for Indian participants is also explicitly designed and developed by the Ministry of Earth Sciences, and it is available on their website. Please read that document very carefully, because this is what the funders will look into the modalities of cooperation to avoid any glitch into technical difficulties later on. Who can participate? Basically, as I mentioned, any participant who has a capacity to address the challenge. It could be public or private organization, academic institutions, research organizations, industry. It could be big, small, medium, micro, and startup. In addition to that, Dr. Marigoda already mentioned that we are also emphasizing a lot of outreach, public awareness, inclusiveness. So we are also encouraging public bodies, NGOs to be part of it. The similarly, Government of India has also agreed to include all the entities, academic institution, industry, startup, NGOs into the consortium. So basically, anyone has a skills and capacity can participate. Again, 3+3, that is what the baseline is always, that you need to have minimum 3 partners from Europe and 3 partners from India. Who are these 3 partners from India? Where you can find it? So these are the 27 European member states, which are the core of the European Union. So you can find any partners from these 27 countries. In addition to that, the European Horizon Europe program has been associated by 19 countries. So you have 46 countries to find 3 partners or more partners, which make the basic eligibility from the European side fulfill. So if you see all the major countries with India is collaborating: France, Germany, Sweden, Netherlands, Finland, Denmark. All these are the big players who already has a strong bilateral collaborations, can translate bilateral into multilateral. In addition to that, the UK is again back to Horizon Europe as an associated partner. So you can also have a UK entities into it. Norway is also a very strong partners with India as well as Israel. So you have plenty of choice to find the partners. So the next is consortium formation. Again, 3+3, three independent legal entities should be part of this. Any additional organization which can bring additional dimension scope to the call should be encouraged. The proposal should be multidisciplinary, cross-sectoral, cross-border. The gender balance to be taken into consideration. One coordinator from European side who will deal the entire communication submission to the Horizon Europe portal should be identified by the European partners. Similarly, the one Indian coordinator should be identified by Indian. So basically, one project will have, I will say, 2 coordinators. One, you can say a coordinator and deputy coordinator, or lead scientific coordinator. You can term as you want, but basically, it is just to make sure the communication is through one person to a respective funding agency, but they are one part of the consortium. So MOES, again, I'm repeating the same thing, but I just wanted to make sure the people get a very clear message that the proposal has to be jointly developed by Indian and European PIs together, submitted together at respective funding portals, and we will be evaluating these proposals jointly. The MOES is going to fund all entities I already mentioned: public, private, academic institutions. Make sure those institutions has public finance management system. By default, all the state and central institutions has this system. Again, the NGOs, trust, research foundations, which should be at least have 3 years of scientific research. That is the norms of Government of India. If it is an NGO, it should be registered under the DARPAN. So DSIR recognition in-house is also required. Industry and startups are highly encouraged. Again, I will not go into the details. The company, as per the Company Act, 51% of ownership should be the Indian owner, citizen. Indian citizen should be the owner of this. Indian startups are highly encouraged. They are also should be certified in Indian government system. So all these entities are eligible to participate into the program. What about the funding? Basically, from European as well as Indian side, it is a grant in aid. So that means 100% funding to public and private academic research institutions. How do you distribute the grant within the partners is up to the consortium members to decide how much is the share based on the work package load, what you will foresee during the planning. Eligibility criteria, again, eligibility cost, again, it is very standard: manpower, consumables, travel, overhead cost, all are very classical from European and Indian side as well. What is the funding percentage? The MOES will fund public and private universities, research institution 100% grant in aid, startup 90%, public authorities 75%, large enterprise 75, medium enterprise 75, and small enterprise. In case of Horizon Europe, it is a research and innovation action. So by default, it could be public or private. And the funding rate is 100% granted aid to all European partners. So what is the admissibility of this thing? As I mentioned, the first submission of the proposal should be at Horizon Europe funding and tender portal. It should be electronic, no paper involved. The scientific part, that is part B, has a page limit of 45 pages. So please respect the page limit while developing the joint proposal. Again, admissibility. Generally, the deadlines are two: the first submission at on 17 September by the European coordinator, the second submission by the Indian coordinator to the MOES, that is part B. So European coordinator will make sure the entire application part A and part B of the Horizon is completely done, and the Indian will take only part B, as well as the MOES annexes of administrative and financial requirement will be added. So the Indian coordinator will submit scientific proposal. In addition to that, the detailed financial requirement of the consortium by the Indian coordinator by 23rd of September. So when you are preparing a proposal, I request specifically the Indian partners that please pay attention to the IP. Make sure your background information, knowledge, everything has been well defined, agreed within the consortium, so that there is no conflict after the submission of proposal or at the time of implementation of the proposal. This is very important issue that everyone should pay attention. As I mentioned, the first submission at Horizon, so part A, which is a technical part that only will be done by the European, what you call the coordinator. He will collect all the information of the European side and fill up this form, which is online. The part B, which is jointly developed by Indian and European, this is a free document which is downloadable, where all the consortium sit together, formulate different work packages. So that part B will go one at Horizon, and part B again goes to the Indian coordinator, who will submit that proposal to the MOES. So again, part B, I will not go into the details. I'm repeating the same thing. It is designed as per the evaluation criteria. Again, the page limit is 5. The very important point about the use of artificial intelligence in developing a proposal, as such, the European Commission or the Horizon doesn't in object of using any AI tools to use for betterment of the proposal, but this is an complete full responsibility of the person to make sure all the accuracy, validity, appropriateness should be taken. Please make sure when you are using these tools, the plagiarism is addressed. acknowledge the limitation, the AI whenever you are going to use in the proposal. So this is very important part which you need to take care at the time of proposal writing. So what is this associated partner business? So basically the European funding goes to European partners, and the Indian funding is not, the Indian funding is only from the MOEs. So the Indian partners will be participating in a proposal, horizon proposal, as an associated partner. What does it mean? They will not sign any grant agreement of European Commission. The only European consortium members will sign the grant agreement from the EU side. So when the European coordinator is going to prepare a proposal in part A of the horizon proposal, make sure the Indian partners are listed as an associated partner. You don't have to give all the financial details, but instead you have to give a, uh lump sum amount what is each partner is asking for. European the sorry the Ministry of Earth Sciences, where I had already marked the frame this area, where you will say specific amount in total without giving a fractionation of the details of the budget. The submission, again, it is Horizon Europe Funding and Tender Portal, Part A, Part B by European coordinator, and Indian coordinator supposed to send Part B and the all financial annexes to Ministry of Earth Sciences by email. There is a specific email ID which I have already shared, and it is also available on website. Make sure your hard copy also is required by Ministry of Earth Science. So one hard copy is sent by post, should be posted, should be stamped on 23rd of September to Ministry of Earth Science. The address is given in their guidelines. The evaluation is done based on three criteria: excellence, impact, and implementation. This evaluation will be a joint evaluation. Basically, the Indian and European experts will be sitting together and formulating that. So whatever decision will make it, it is legally binding both the funding agencies. There is no discussion alteration in ranking. So the entire process of call preparation, evaluation, and um, grant agreement, we are legally having a binding of 8 months. So we anticipate that by September, after that, the results will be notified maybe around December. These are all estimated dates. We are not sure. It could be plus minus. The grant agreement, if as goes per the plan, it should be concluded by end of May, and then the start of the project could be by June 2026. How to find a partners, that is what the today's seminar is all about, meeting the potential partners, expertise, ideas together, and we are helping the people to meet each other and find a best partner across Europe and India. You will have to ask the Indian PIs has to ask and help to access the Horizon Europe participant portal, because you will need a EU login. So that is a very simple step. But if any difficulties, the European coordinators or the PIs are well formulated and well informed about the process. So without any hesitation, you can ask those people, or you can write to us as well. But it should be done quite easily. Again, those who are participating as associated partners, the participant identification code of organization is needed. I think most of the Indian organizations are already registered in this number, but again, the India European coordinator will help you out. So the last point is about the consortium or coordination agreement. Basically, as I said, there are two different funding agencies, but they are working. The Indian and European scientific and innovation communities are working together on a specific scientific problems or challenge. So legally, neither European or the Indians are not signing each other's grant agreement. So the consortium or coordination agreement is the only document where both the sides, both the scientific communities are committed to work together. Once your proposal is submitted and selected, we anticipate as soon as possible within 6 months the consortium to submit this document to a respective funding agencies. There are templates available. It is free templates. There is no obligation. Make sure IPR and other details are well discussed and addressed in the consortium agreement. Again, I will leave these websites with you. Thank you very much for your attention. I think I am in time. I think I finish before 3:10. Samrat, over to you. We are open for any questions.
Yes.
Please feel free to ask any questions.
Thank you so much, Vivek, for this very comprehensive presentation. And as we already mentioned, we will have now a possibility for Q&A. I also would invite our panelists, who are also going to present. If they have any questions, they can please come forward. We also have a few questions in the Q&A, and I see there are some hands raised. So let's take a few minutes for having a Q&A session. I will also ask Dr. Marigodor to join us as well into the let me just get him on the screen. Yeah. Okay. Let's see that there are questions in the chat. In the Q&A. Let me just first ask this. Vivekji, can also technology business incubator be part of the Indian consortium?
Yeah, see,
Yes.
basically the business incubator is a facility. So I don't know how they are going to have a legal entity as such. The startups which are hosted under the business incubator could be, legal. But if the incubator itself has a capacity to address these challenges and it is written Section 8 company, it could qualify for the Indian side. Anilji, do you have any insight on that? Dr. Anil? But as far, yeah, yeah. Basically, as far as you are a legal entity and has a capacity to address the challenge, which you can demonstrate through your this thing, it is up to the consortium to decide. So technically, it should qualify, but again, it is expertise matters. Next.
I see we have a hand raised from Mr. Jürgen Bund, who is also one of the presenters today.
Yeah.
Mr. Bund, would you like to pose your question?
Yeah, hello, good morning, good afternoon. My question is addressed to the evaluation procedure, which is following. This is a typical European research innovation action, and the evaluation process now, is it a joint evaluation between the European evaluators and the Indian evaluators, or is it an evaluation in which the European evaluators evaluate first, and then the Indians would have a second evaluation, a follow-up evaluation? Is it joint or follow-up?
No,
Thank
it
you.
is a joint. We had learned our lessons. It is a joint exercise. It is will be done by peer review process through Horizon Europe, where the Indians and European independent experts will be evaluating that. So there is no change in ranking. There is no uncertainty. You can be assured with that.
Thank you so much. We also have one of our attendees, Mr. Avadesh Jha.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hi, good
please.
morning, everyone. I don't know if you can see my face. My face is blocked there. But I am at the University of Plymouth. I've been working in this area for a long time now. My question is, Dr. Vivek Dham mentioned about three partners. Is it possible to have two partners from the same country in the EU? For example, can we have two partners from UK?
Yeah, so basically, what these three European partners required, it has to have three different partners from three different European member state or associated country. Out
Okay.
of these three, one has to be a member state, and two could be either from member state or associated country. In addition, you can add more partners. So I can give you an example. You can have France, Germany, UK as three different entities. UK is associated, Germany is member state, France member state. And in addition, you can have more UK partners. So there is no limit to that. So you can add more partners. But the basic requirement is three partners from three different European countries, and then multiple partners can be added.
So we can have more than three partners
Yeah. So
and
normally
that could be
Horizon,
two
yeah,
partners from the same country.
yeah. Normally Horizon consortiums are big. It is 10, 15, even the Polar, we have 45 partners together. where the two Indian entities are part of it. So these are big consortium. These are multilateral projects. So never limit only three and three, because
Okay.
this amount is also big. So you cannot have such a big amount to be split into the three people, which will be difficult to this. So normally bring different dimension people into the consortium.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We also have another attendee who was raised his hand, Mr. Martin JD. Mr. Martin, would you like to pose your question? Okay, I think while we're waiting, we can see we have a few more minutes. Yeah, yeah. What about the PIC validation, Vivekji? Does the EU delegation offer support to Indian partners? We know it's a bit of a sometimes cumbersome part to get the PIC validated.
Yeah, basically the EU delegation is not directly administrating any of these Horizon portals. There are NCPs, there are national contact points, and there is a Euraccess which can provide a support. But the thing is, it's the peak validation. It is quite easy. It is done quite regularly. You can just type your name into the search. If the organization exists, you can use the same PIC number, or you can create a pick, which is not tedious process, but it can be done quite rapidly. But there are NCPs which we will share Samrat, we will share the NCP list with these people so that they can also seek the help from NCPs.
Okay. And another question was regarding Switzerland. Can Switzerland participate in this call? Institutions from
Yes,
Switzerland?
yeah. So if you go, there is in my slide, the
Mm,
Switzerland has applied. Is in a transition phase. What does it says that they can apply for Horizon uh, calls right now. There is no this thing. So there are three countries which are in transition phase. One is I think South Korea, Switzerland, and then there is one more. So there are three countries, but it is clearly mentioned in the guidelines that they are eligible to participate and can
mm,
benefit from the funding.
okay. We have Indumati from the attendees. You
Hi,
can
hi
please, yeah.
everybody. Thank you, Dr. Vivek and Dr. Samrat. I'm from IIT Madras. I saw that it was a very comprehensive proposal you're looking for, starting from assessment to impact to risk assessment and technologies at a higher TRL level. Should all these components be in the proposal, or there can be a mix of different components to address certain specific pollution problem?
No, see, we are looking as such an ecosystem. In the call text itself, it is mentioned it is effect on marine ecosystem. So we are not going a specific. We are trying to have a comprehensive idea, not on a specific pollutant or specific thing. We are trying to address in a ecosystem concept way. Marigauda ji, you have anything to say into that?
No, no, nothing to add, but this will be comprising of all the elements. Maybe we are looking into more comprehensive way how we can address this marine pollution impact and what are the policy technology interventions. So
Yeah.
all these elements can be there because the consortium will have around 8 to 10 peoples or something like that. Then each of them can they can have different kinds of aspects to be covered. That's what.
Okay. Okay. So and technology is a big part of the proposal and the outcomes, I understand.
Technology is a part. There is also public awareness, NGO, then public consultation. This all aspect. Basically, it will be like a European are also doing the same exercise, the Indians, and then there will be also coordinating. They are sharing each other's idea, technologies, and expertise. So this is has to be done very comprehensive way, and that is why
All
the
right.
big funding is offered. And the whole idea behind this is to have a mega projects.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we take two more questions, and Vivekji and Dr. Mariguda, there are some questions also in the Q&A. If you have the possibility, please look at them. But we will try to address those questions either during the webinar or after, if you send us your questions to india@euraccess.net or to the delegation. We will try our best to help you with your questions. There's a question in the chat from Mr. Ivo Grigorov. Are the ministry embedded scientists eligible, and can you confirm if MOS funds only 75% of costs for public authorities?
It's not 75%, it's 100% for public authority. Is it correct, Vivekji?
Pardon? Could you please repeat?
The funding from MOES will be for
Yeah.
public authority. Is it 75%? It's 100%, no?
No, it's 100% for
Okay.
public and for a private academic research institution. 75 for the industry. 95 for the startups. I just see a quick question whether the duration could be say 60 months. Basically, under the TTC, we want a very expedite way of approach. So 3 to 4 years, that is what the average time we are expecting to have the project to be concluded. So we are expecting in that range, not 60 months. So 60 months will be too long process.
Yeah, okay. We take one more question. Can you confirm that the funding from India for the consortium, in addition to the EU budget, can be higher than 6 million euro?
See, these are tentative lines. It could be less, it could be more. It is all depend on the scope of the call. So this is what the commission said, around 6 million is appropriate to address this particular challenge per project. So you can be more or less as far as the work is justified. The evaluators will decide. That is why we had asked the associated partners as well as the European partners budget should be reflected in part A, so that the evaluators have the comprehensive idea how much is the total cost of the project, whether the amount had requested is justify enough to that kind of a work.
Okay. I would say we conclude the Q&A session now, because I'm looking at the time and I have to keep the time regime today because we have quite a few flash presentations now lined up. Very interesting, very diverse. And I'm also just happy to see that our audience is very diverse. We have quite a good number from both India and Europe here. And I see that there's a very active networking going on in the chat already. There are a lot of questions also. This is very good sign that there's a strong interest behind today, and we will try to answer the questions. Dr. Vivek, you can have a look during the next to see the Q&A, and also, of course, our Indian colleagues if they can help to answer. Otherwise, I would say we conclude yes.
Yeah, Samrat, just what Samrat had mentioned, we are really under time pressure because we had received around huge number of expressions. Now our challenge is by 5:30 we want to hear as many as people possible. You don't have to go in details. Just pass on a keywords for 3 to 5 minutes. Longer you go, people will lose the interest. So we request each and every pitcher to make a very concise presentation so that your message is passed through, and later on this all presentations will be shared on the Euraccess website so that you can also start communicating. Over to you, Samrat. Thank you.
Thank you so much for emphasizing this, Vivekji. We will make the presentations available and the contact details of the presenters. So if you're now in the flash presentations, we kindly ask all the presenters to please stick to the limit of 5 minutes per presentation. This is also in order for the fairness to the other participants, but also, as Dr. Vivek said, we want to try to also conclude this webinar on time. So our first presenter today is Dr. Murali Krishna Gatkeshar. He is from the Department of Precision and Microsystems Engineering from the Delft University of Technology, the Netherlands. So, Dr. Murali, are you with us?
Yes, yeah, I'm here.
Thank you. Perfect. Please.
So, will you share the slides or should I share the slides?
And if you can share them, I think it makes it more easier for you to navigate. If not, we are, of course, happy to share them on our behalf.
Okay, I can share quickly. Can you see the slides?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so introduction is already made. So I'm Morali Gatkesser from TU Delft from Netherlands. So what I'm offering is more
Indian
on
researchers அவ்வளோ இருக்காங்க.
more on detection and identification of micro nanoplastics. So my expertise is on micro and micro electromechanical systems and also precision microfluidics, where we have capability to fabricate tiny devices and also manipulate fluids at very small scale, including individual particle handling. So what we are looking is more on the analytical chemists, marine biologists, and environmental scientists. That is what I'm looking for. And then I have some experience of collaborating with India on this particular topic, where we organized a workshop, which is micro nanoplastic pollution challenges in detection and identification at ISA. So basically what we are offering is a MEMS device where you can use these devices to not only detect but also identify micro nanoplastics. So these are very tiny devices where you can actually flow particles through this device and then operate them at its resonance frequency. And whenever a particle flows through, then the resonance frequency shifts, and then you should be able to identify, basically detect the particles. So we can change the dimensions of this device such that you can accommodate the particular particle of interest that you want to detect. And then on the right side, I have a sample curve that is showing like we are monitoring the frequency shift of the device. And then whenever there is a particle flowing through, you can see a small change in the frequency, which indicates that there is a particle that is flowing through. So the devices are very sensitive to almost like hundreds of nanometers of nanoplastics, and they can detect at the speed of 3 particles per second. So you can do it in real time, and it is non-destructive. Yeah, and we made an estimate that we can, in principle, theoretically, can detect a coronavirus particle if we can flow through them. So we are really sensitive to the nanoparticles in the solution in a non-destructive way. And we also have another technique, which is in collaboration with NXP Semiconductors in the Netherlands, where we have a CMOS-based capacitive sensor array. So there are about 1,000 sensitive sensors, which are capacitance-based. So whenever there is a micro nanoparticle sitting in here, then simply by looking at the electric field between the electrode and then the ground, whenever there is a particle, then there is a change in the capacitance because of the dielectric constant change that particle sits. So we should be able to image the particles, and also if you frequency sweep, then we should be also able to detect the type of the particle. So these are the two techniques that we want to offer. So mainly the idea is mostly to detect and identify micro nanoplastics. So that is what I'm offering in this consortium. Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you so much, Dr. Murali. We're looking forward, to people approaching you and collaborating with you on your project idea. And with that, we go to our next presenter today, Mr. Sandeep Batula, co-founder and CTO at Qualivon Technologies, India.
Yep. Hi.
Hello.
I
Yeah.
hope I'm audible, right? Yes, I'm audible.
Yes, you are. And
Yep. Thank you so much.
let me just spotlight you. Yeah. And could you start your presentation from your side?
Yes, sure. Sure. Give me a second. I think it is visible.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. Very good afternoon and also good morning, everyone. My name is Sandeep, and I'm the co-founder of Qualivon Technologies Private Limited. And we are currently based out in Bhubaneswar, India, and we are an incubator startup from KIT TBI. Basically, at Qualivon, we are currently dealing with the nanophotonic sensors, especially for environmental monitoring applications. And let me go through. So this is our company logo, and we are now associated with KIT TBI and also with KIT University. Well, we are a team of 4 members, me, Shantosh, Pawan, and also Kishore. And we're also backed up with a good set of advisors from UK, Oxford, and also from KIT University and IIT Madras as well. See, the technology that we're currently using is silicon photonics, or we can also call nanophotonics, where we are currently doing this technology for gases measurement, for example, carbon dioxide, methane, etc. But we also envision to use this technology for microplastic and nanoplastic detection sensing, because here you can see the chips that we already developed at Qualivon. Now you can imagine the entire optical lab is now situated at a single chip at a size of 10 mm into 10 mm or even less. So we can literally do any kind of sensing, whether it is on-chip spectroscopy, for example, FTIR or Raman spectroscopy, for precise identification of microplastic in the oceanic and also river environments. On the right-hand side, you can see some of the structures that we fabricated already. Well, different structure has different characteristics, and different structure will be able to tune and identify different kinds of microplastic in the marine environment. That means we can literally do multi-parameter sensing in the complex mixture of these microplastics or nanoplastics in the marine. So that can be able to do with our chipsets. And currently, we already developed 3 types of chipsets where you can see Vajra P1, Vajra P2, and Vajra A1. So the difference between these 3 chips are the Vajra A1 is a very recently developed chipset at Qualivon, where we are also having the lasers and detectors sitting on a single chip. That means if you consider P1 and P2, they don't have any on-chip lasers and detectors. So we need to connect externally to the lasers and the detector sources. But in Vajra A1, we eliminated that part, and now we are turning everything at a chip level. So this chip has around 7 lasers and 7 photodetectors that can be able to do multi-parameter sensing at the chip level. Well, this is basically designed for gas sensing, but we can also use the chip for microplastic sensing in the water environments. Well, the benefits is that we can customize and fit more advanced features on a single chip, right, depending upon our client requirements. And it is because at a chip level, we can easily scale up for mass deployment applications. Now, one of the advantages, this can be easily integrated with IoT applications. For example, if you want to do kind of edge computing or a kind of cloud computing, it can only consume very less amounts of power of 10 milliwatts or even less. So that is the advantage of our chipsets. Well, for microplastic sensing, we found 2 options. One is surface plasmon resonance and absorption sensing. But in surface plasmon resonance, we can inject the light at an angle of incidence, but this can be able to detect microplastic concentration, but does not exactly tells us what microplastic is there, whether it is polyethylene or polypropylene. That's why we are focusing on absorption sensing, like we are having some kind of resonance structures on the surface of our chip, which can selectively detect these particles in the fingerprint region of mid-infrared region, where you can see polyethylene absorbs at 3.4 micrometer, polystyrene at 3.3 micrometers. That means we can not only detect the concentration level, but we can also detect what exactly is adhering to the surface of our chip. So we can do the specificity and also selectivity in this case. Well, for this call, our contribution is very simple. We are having 5+ years of experience in integrated photonics basis sensing, and our core expertise in building nanophotonic components and circuits for sensing applications. And we can also do photonic building and IP blocking as well. And currently, we are actually working on chip spectrometers, FTIR Raman, for advanced sensing, for example, for medical and also for marine applications. As in this call, we are actually looking for researchers or companies who already have some experience in working with micro nanoplastics in the laboratory of field trials. And we want to collaborate with the people who are also in expertise in data analytics and modeling part, because most of our work is in the sensing, designing the sensors, not in the analytics and modeling. So this is what we want to do in this you call. And finally, I can say this is the laser that I already shown in the previous slides. We already tested the laser multi-wavelength laser on a chip at three wavelengths, 1512, 1570, and 1520, all at telecom wavelengths. Now we can also, the next step is for us to tune this laser for mid-air applications where microplastic sensing is of a predominant in that area. With this, I would like to thank you and looking for the collaborations from EU as well as from India. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sandeep, for presenting your company and the expertise you have to offer for a potential partner in a consortium. Our next presentation is a joint presentation from both Germany and India. We have Professor Hans-Peter Großardt, from the Leibniz Institute of Freshwater Ecology and Inland Fisheries, and Mr. Dar Jafar Yusuf from the ICAR Central Soil Salinity Research Institute. Professor Hans-Peter and Mr. Dar Jafar, I hope you are with us and ready to present.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dr. Samrat. Could you please share presentation? I might have some problem in it.
Of course. Just give me a second. I'll just try to open it quickly. Sorry for that delay. Just trying to find. There have been so many presentations, so I'm just looking at the. Okay, I have it here. Okay. So I'm just opening it. Okay, here it is. Is it? Hope it's
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Please.
Maybe we go to slide view if it's possible.
Yeah, sure. Hold on.
It's okay.
Okay. I'll try. You just start. I'll try in the meantime too.
Yeah, thanks a lot and sorry for inconvenience. Good afternoon. I'm Jafar Yusuf from the Indian Council of Agriculture Research, CSSRI India, and I'm presenting our joint proposal developed in collaboration with Professor Hans-Peter Grossart, who is from Leibniz Institute of Freshwater Ecology and Inland Fisheries, shortly called as IGB Germany. Next slide, please. Okay, we know that marine environments, they face intense pressure from a wide variety of pollutants, such as micro and nanoplastics, pharmaceutical, persistent organic pollutants, heavy metals, and so on. So what complicates this even further is the cocktail effect, where these pollutants, they interact in complex ways, leading to unpredictable and amplified ecological risks. And unfortunately, microbial communities, which are the first responders in aquatic ecosystems, they are often overlooked despite their central role in nutrient cycling, breaking down pollutants, and also supporting the food web. Keeping this in mind, we developed the concept of micro-ecotox, a project that we expect to explore how complex mixtures of pollutants impact microbial communities, how those microbial chains in turn affect the broader marine ecosystem and ultimately human health. We specifically focus on microbial shifts driven by pollution, risks to marine biodiversity, and human health through microbial mediated pathways. Next slide, please. Our project has 3 core objectives. Maybe okay, thanks. Our project has 3 core objectives to characterize microbial community shifts using metagenome, to quantify horizontal gene transfer and antimicrobial resistance linked to pollutants, assess biochemical pathways and associated risks to marine organisms and humans. Our approach includes field sampling on Indian and European coasts, pollutant mapping and microbiome profiling, mesocosm experiments, which can simulate cocktail pollution and climate stress. We will develop a toolkit of multiomics, qPCR, and ecotoxicological and also predictive modeling. Next slide. So this matters, we support the EU Zero Pollution Action Plan and One Health goals. Our work addresses the cocktail effects of pollutants on microbes. It also evaluates bioaccumulation and toxicity pathways affecting seafood safety and ecosystem health. With this in mind, we see several important outcomes of our work. Our research will offer new insights into microbial tipping points and spread of antimicrobial resistance, We hope this evidence can support strong pollution control policies and biodiversity restoration. And importantly, it will strengthen EU-India collaboration in tackling marine environmental challenges together. Next slide. Yeah, so we bring direct experience from our past EU projects and also ongoing projects, which align with this call. First, in our recently completed project, which was completed in last month, known by Plastic Fate, we studied how microbial biofilm formation on different microplastics, including both bioplastics and conventional plastics. We also studied horizontal gene transfer under various microplastic conditions. We also studied the effects of metals, temperature, and nutrients on microbial communities in context of horizontal gene transfer. Currently, we are working on a project, which is also a European Horizon project, known by Tulip. And in this project, we are investigating antimicrobial resistance in the presence of microplastics. We study how plastic pollution and climate change interact in aquatic ecosystems and impact microbial ecology. These projects give us a strong foundation to address the goals of microecotalks. Next slide. Yeah, our team brings a strong publication record which is relevant to the current call. We have published it on microplastic impacts in marine and freshwater ecosystems, also PFAS removal techniques, and also an exposure protocols for ecotoxicity testing. Next slide. So in summary, microecotox addresses the urgent need to understand how pollutant mixtures impact marine microbial ecosystems. So we offer science-based collaborative and approach and are excited to connect with partners. Thank you. We look forward to working together. Dr. Samrat?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Mr. Yusuf, for outlining your expertise and also your experience in working with already with EU programs. And we move to our next presenter, which is Dr. A. Biju Kumar from the University of Kerala. Dr. Biju, are you with us?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I can see your slides are open.
Yeah, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Biju Kumar. I work with University of Kerala. I'm also the Dean Faculty of Science here. And this is a university started way back in 1937, and we are with the Department of Aquatic Biology and Fisheries. And we have just now completed a project from the European Union, which addressed the triple planetary crisis, including the microplastic contamination in the Indian ecosystems. And what we are proposing here is a project idea where we can be the lead partner or the associate, and primarily to work on the project idea, contaminants of emerging concerns and pollutant cocktails in Indian coastal waters and marine life, and their mitigation strategies. And we are in discussion with some of the organizations already. Cintef is one of the organizations whom we are in discussion, along with other partners like Nivea in Norway, in developing this idea as a collaborative proposal. And why this proposal is basically because India has a serious issue to address, primarily from the incoming the larger riverine ecosystem, which carry a large amount of contaminants of emerging concern into our water bodies, particularly into the marine ecosystem. And if you look at the recent publications and analysis, we say that it's a serious concern. And if you look at the number of publications from India, it's also emerging. And if you look at the other issues, India has already become a hotspot for the emerging contaminants, and also specifically discussing antimicrobial resistant gene in the water bodies. And the strength of the system is that we have a large number of R&D institutions, and one of the weakness definitely is, employing technology to detect the cocktails specifically and some of the pollutants in general. So that is the background in which we are proposing it. And marine debris and microplastic, especially the nanoplastics in the recent past, has become a very serious issue in India in the recent past. And already we have there are 166 individual compounds and in the 36 categories, including pharmaceuticals and drugs, which occupy a major part, and which, of course, there is an issue of biological magnification in the system. So it's actually a holistic study can address these issues specifically. And the advantage with this project is that the Europe has the technologies in many available with us, with them, and then we have a larger number of scientific institutions to work together to address this specific issue. So what we propose definitely with specific objectives, and one, of course, is to compile the existing knowledge on legacy and emerging pollutants and their cocktails, and identify the gap areas of research and policy document, and then specifically identify the contaminants and legacy pollutants in coastal waters, sediment and biota, in selected ecosystem, both in the east and west coast of India. And one of the challenging part here, where we require the partner, is to work on the technology particularly for the tools to assess the pollutant cocktails, especially, and also to work on the genetic elements for monitoring the pollutants and cocktail and AMR gene transfer here. And then, we need to validate the approaches for assessment and, the identification of pollution hotspots as far as India is concerned. And another objective can be the assessment, risk assessment, especially when we have to work in vivo and in vitro experiments to validate the whole thing and prove the efficiency of the system. And ultimately, the project can address the issue of policy engagement, where we can, along with the European partners, can suggest the policy interventions wherever required. And as far as the competency is concerned, we have just now completed a project called Ecomarine, where we established a marine monitoring lab, and already we have an MOU with a series of international universities to work specifically on biodiversity and pollution issues. And these are some of the recent publications which are specific to marine pollution, microplastics and nanoplastics, and their biomagnification, and in one of the recent papers, including their transfer to the deep sea ecosystems as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Biju Kumar. And it's very good to see that you already have ongoing discussions with potential partners from Europe. This is very encouraging to hear. And we go to our next presenter, which is Mr. Jawahar, RMP from TREC STEP, joining us from India. Mr. Jawahar, I hope you're with us. Yes. Are you sharing yours?
Yes,
Perfect.
I'm already here. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Are
so
you able
much.
to see my screen?
Yes, sir. We can see your screen. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It is, in fact, sorry. Are you able to?
Slides are not moving, but they're visible at the moment.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
in now. If you click on slide mode. Okay, perfect.
1 minute. 1 minute. Are you able to see me now, Dr. Samrat?
Everything is visible, and the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sorry for the hiccup. And in fact, I'm very glad to have this chance. Thanks for this opportunity to meet such a great gathering of scientists and policymakers, etc. My name is RMP Jawahar. I am basically from an organization which is now 40 years old, promoted by Department of Science and Technology and Niti Aayog, Government of India, for technology innovation and incubation. In fact, we have promoted nearly 400 startups in emerging areas, and also we have done many international projects. My email address and my web URL are here. Basically, as you know, this is very early stages. The call has been opened up only 9 days back, and we have another 4 months to go. So that means that a lot of ideas have to get crystallized, and therefore this interaction with a lot of organizations would be useful, even though we are at the very early stages of forming a consortium. We have so basically, apart from the technology topic, which is common to the Horizon Europe and also the Ministry of Earth Sciences, these are specific call focus area identified by MOES, Government of India, which we wanted to address. The proposed action spectrum of the project would be in, besides bringing in a plethora of researchers, startups from various institutions, we also wanted to focus on space downstream innovation platforms and EU-India joint startup ventures, because this is because of two reasons. We have earlier worked in a EU STAT program, in which marine water quality is one of the projects in which we have worked with few European startups. And then recently, we also found out European Space Agency has promoted nearly 26 marine litter projects, which are there for the taking. And we can, India being a space power, we can utilize this opportunity. This is one of the unique things which we would like to bring to the table, besides the technology research project, etc. And in one of the presentations from Ministry of Sciences, I was able to see the research and innovation, finding out innovative solutions, and capacity development are very important, and so do the knowledge share and other incubation platforms. And we are also looking at climate change is one of our thrust area. We are working on climate change in a very big project, and we can interface that climate change project and this project very effectively, because that will be a great resource leverage. Then innovation incubation startup of startups, which is a very core area of our expertise. We have been working in this area for 40 years, won many national, international awards. And another recent project we have also developed, as required by Ministry of Environmental Sciences, CSO, NGO network of 426 CSOs. Among them, we can pick up some coastal CSOs, coastal NGOs, who can work on actually on-the-ground projects. So these actions will directly address these requirements, we hope. But we are in a very, very early stage. I do not want to preempt the innovation of my consortium members. They are very resourceful members. I would like to learn from ideas of the European Union members of the partnering consortium, and we want to develop a very comprehensive joint project. So these are very early broad brush sketch. So the current consortium, again, I would like to warn you, we are at the very early stages. We have contacted two IITs so far, National Institute of Technology, Trichy, which is our parent organization. Already, Indian Institute of Science, especially for the climate change area, has shown keen interest. Some reputed private universities like SRM. We have also in touch with Plastic Industry Association, and our organization, TrekStep, is always there. TrekStep has already 400 startups, and we are working with many new startups. So we are technology agnostic, which means that we can onboard any technology and provide support to technology development, innovation, and business promotion. And then the Coastal CSO network for advocacy. And that is another special area, because this is a both commercial and non-commercial initiative, which is very closer to anyone's heart. So we think we should also look beyond the commercial aspect and into the active advocacy aspect as well. So it will be a multi-skill consortium of academic research institute, industries, incubators, startup, and CSOs from Indian side. And what kind of European partners we are looking at? We are looking at consortiums or players from EU universities, researchers, EU industries, EU incubators, EU startups, EU CSOs. Basically, these are the skill sets we are looking for. And these are the areas in which we would like to work with them jointly and develop meaningful proposals for India and EU. As you know, both of them enjoy a very vast coastline. Maybe EU's coastline is 10 times bigger than India's coastline. But in terms of EU, the population, India has more people living in the coastal and marine resources. So this project is very important. We'll have to design a very useful and meaningful intervention out of these resources. So IITs, IICs are nationally and internationally renowned institutions. Private universities who are partnering with us are reputed academic organizations. TechStep, as I said, is a reputed technology innovation incubation ecosystem developer with continuous and credible EU projects for the last 2 decades. We have worked continuously with the European Union for the last 2 decades in many projects. Some of the testimonials include, I have shortlisted 6 EU projects we have done in the last 20 years. There are many more also. Some of them in which we have not been successful. The preparation of project proposal itself is a very interesting thing, which helps in ship shaping the future projects. In addition to that, we have also worked with World Bank and many projects. I am not talking about my consortium partners profile, which must be even more better. Now, one of the biggest projects we are working is the project which is on the anvil is building an ecosystem for accelerating climate innovation for India, which is a 50 million project A. And I think in this project, we would like to onboard some of the technology startups promoted and fund them to leverage also. So there is a lot of synergy. There is a lot of both backward and forward integration. So this project can add a great value, and TechStep can add a great value to this project as well. So with that, I thank you for your very patient listening. This is my email address. I'm looking for complementing Indian and EU partners and consortium. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jawahar, for explaining, the background of your organization and the vast experience you already have in working international projects, and already you're having Indian partners in discussion, and you're looking now for the EU partners which are here today. So I hope there will be a fruitful networking happening during the webinar, but also at the end of it. With that, we move to our next presenter, which is Dr. Diana Vitale from Aimplas Microplastics Labs in Spain. Dr. Vitale, are you with us, and your presentation is ready?
Hi, do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear. There's a slight echo in your
Yeah,
mic.
of course. Thank you. One moment, please. I can't because I need authorization.
I'm sorry, there's a slight echo. We're not able to hear you properly. Could you repeat that?
Yeah. No, I can share my presentation because I don't have any authorization.
Would you like us to share the presentation?
I can't, sorry. Okay.
Okay.
No.
Okay. One second. Let me just see what's happening here.
Can you share my presentation, please?
Yes, we will do that. Hold on. Yeah, okay. We will just go here to find your presentation. Hold on a second. Okay, here it is. Yeah, is it visible to you? Is this your presentation, right?
One moment, because in this moment I can see.
So your presentation is on the screen?
No.
Okay, hold on. Okay, is it visible now?
You can see here the file.
Vivek, could you just confirm? Are you able to see the presentation?
No, we can't see it.
No, we cannot. We just see your screen.
Okay, and now?
Yeah, now it is fine.
Now.
Okay, okay,
Thank you so much.
yeah.
I think there is an echo is coming.
Yes.
I don't know whether the two speakers are on. Can you just check?
I'm
please?
checking. Okay, Diana, can you try now?
Okay. I started now. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Diana Vitale. I'm from I Plus. The next, please. The next slide, please. Okay, now the next, please. Okay, I'm from Microplastic Laboratory from I Plus. This is a technology center with more than 35 years experience in the plastic sector.
Sorry to interrupt, Diana. There is a echo. Do you have like two devices running at the same time? Could that be?
Yes, one moment, please.
Could you I think you have to switch off one device because there is a feedback, echo, so we're not able to hear you properly.
Okay, sorry. One moment.
Could you try now?
I try, but it's not possible. I don't know.
Okay, just go ahead. I think it's better now.
Okay, sorry, one moment. I think that now is possible.
Yeah, please.
You see the presentation?
We can see the presentation, yes.
Okay, great. Can I start?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so my name is Diana Vitale. I'm from I Plus, from Microplastic Laboratory. So the IM Plus is a technology center with more than 35 years experience in the plastic sector.
Okay, I'm really sorry, Diana. We still have this problem with the echo.
Samrat ji, Samrat?
Yeah, yes.
Is it possible to go to the next presentation maybe
I think
after?
so. I think that's what I wanted to suggest is Dr. Diana,
Okay.
could you try to fix your microphone issue and we come back to you and we just move to the next presentation. Please excuse us for the technical issues, but I'm sure you will be able to solve them. And I would suggest yeah, thank you so much. So we go to our next presentation.
Okay, I can try. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe you log in out and log in again and try to see if you're not run on two devices. So our next presenter is Dr. Bhagwan Rekadwat from the Yenagoa University, Mangalore.
Yes.
Sir, are you with us?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Are you able to share your presentation?
Yes, I'm trying. Okay.
Otherwise, I can run it from my side as well. Maybe that's goes faster.
Please, sir.
Okay. Okay, I have this. I have your slides on, sir. Please, you can start.
Actually, I'm not.
Okay, let me try again.
Shall I share, sir? Just a minute.
Yeah, please, if you can share.
Yeah. Now, is this visible?
Yeah, it's visible. Yes.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you, Dr. Samrat, for giving an opportunity to present here. So, I am presenting my project idea. Myself, Bhagwan. I am working as associate professor at the Enapoya deemed to be University, Mangaluru, Karnataka. My parent organization is the Enapoya Research Center, and my departmental expertise is the multidisciplinary. And but basically, I work in a fundamental science and basic science in combination with the bioinformatics and molecular biology. So my project idea is to uncover the concealed marine pollution and spread of antimicrobial resistance across the Nassau. Nassau is nothing but the abbreviations I have taken from the titles of the different continents. So in this, I would like to address a topic that is marine pollution, oil spill related work, seawater pollution, spread, and modes of distribution of AMR across the continents. In this project, I would like to propose the physicochemical analysis, enumeration of the metagenome associated microorganisms, that is the MAGs, from the marine samples across the coastline of continents just like North America, South America, Antarctica, Oceania, Europe, Africa, Asia. Currently, we do have the consortium, but I am not included because we have not taken any consent from them because I heard this call and I was in a hurry. So I expect these are the examples that I would like to have or want to collaborate with the partners, just like those are the institute of national reports or premier institutions from the different continents, and I'm open to work with them in consortium. And profile of the partner I sought and I would like to offer also. Those actually skills are mentioned. These are the broad-based skills. On field, we require a diverse trekking, sampling, and survey experts. Wet lab, in that we require physicochemical analysis, microbiological analysis, environmental DNA extraction and analysis, and sequencing experts. Soft skills, in that we require the collaborators or consortium able to perform the bioinformatics analysis of the metagenomic data. Soft skills, in that consortium should able to handle oceanographic data. Just I found one collaborator in that. So one from the IIT Hyderabad. Role at the lab, those are the actually PhDs, postdocs, and project scientists. Along with the research associate, would like to collaborate with them, and we also seek consortium partners. Those are the project managers and principal investigators, because we require a huge amount of data to be generated. And currently, my work is working on collection of the data. Basically, it's a sequencing data from the different continents, and we actually trying to introduce AI-based bioinformatics approach to actually trace the microbial diversity and pollution, pathogenic organisms across the continents and in different coastal marine environments. So those work we actually done in last 10 years, that is actually at a huge amount of work, and some part of the project has been also published in good journals, and our work is recognized by the Nature India, also the Times of India. These are my contact details. My current lab works on the basic weight laboratory work, bioinformatics work, and the molecular biology work, and along with the bioinformatics in tie-up. We would like to have, we don't have the weight lab data across the all continents. In this project, we would like to generate the weight lab data and to start work on the microbial community associated with the marine environment and the coastal areas of all continents. Thereby, we will be having the mapping of microbiome. Those are the pathogenic one across the all continents, and we may have to provide evidence-based approach for making a evidence-based policy in context to the One Health approach, to develop an AI-driven approach for the detection of pathogens and to trace the AMR across the continents. That's our actually the project idea. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhagwan, for your presentation. And we move to our next presenter, Dr. Pascaline Gabory from the Pilot for Dev in Belgium. And after Dr. Gabouri, we will try again with Dr. Vitale from Spain. But first, Dr. Pascaline Gabouri, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I can try. Sorry for inconvenience.
Hello. Thank you
I
very
think
much for yes.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
can I start?
no,
Or
we have Dr. Pascaline first, and then we go with you.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
thank you.
you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Samrat. I will be really short, so I will not I will not take too much of your time. So my organization, Pilot for Dev, is a think tank and NGO. We're working more in the research department. We have expertise in governance, marine ecosystems, oceans, AI, new technologies, and also disinformation, engagement of stakeholders and communication. We are based in Brussels. We have a long cooperation with colleagues in India, and that's why I allow myself to present our organization. So our aim is to connect stakeholders active in the area of climate change, governance, gender equality, dialogue, and more generally the implementation of SDGs, to combine research, action, promote a diversity of narratives, and connect multi-stakeholders for knowledge exchange, as well as to promote exemplary initiatives. So we work on advocacy, decision-making process, and we are based here in Brussels. We've been involved in different projects. One of them is on the climate resilient and inclusive cities. Another one, Life Adapt Island, was on the restoration of marine ecosystems, especially corals, mangroves, but also seagrass beds. And we also work on the climate disinformation. Finally, we have a new proposal, Entrepreneurs for the Oceans and Food Sustainability, which is more focused on the Mediterranean. We have several publications, cooperation, partnerships, and books. So for the Creek project, what we developed in particular are climate adaptation plans for local authorities, but also early warning systems for sea level rise and for climate disaster events. And we've been working also with communities on coastal the prevention and coastal infrastructure. And for the Life Adapt Island projects, we've been really working on a more different restoration and protection of marine ecosystems, especially with eco-moorings. We also focused, of course, on marine plastics and nanoplastics, but it has been indirect as we've been confronted already to not only pollution, but also depletion of the seas and the different let's say concerning of the different ecosystems which were faced with different threats, including, of course, the typhoons, cyclones, storms, but also ocean acidification and the change in oceans temperatures, which was really detrimental to corals and seagrass beds. So with that, we of course are interested in working more on the extension of marine areas and marine protected areas, to work with fisher organizations for the preservations and maybe with eco moorings, and to find solutions both for climate change and coastal adaptation and for the protection of oceans and marine ecosystems. And of course, we're interested in participating in any proposal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gabouri, for your presentation, presenting your organization and the interest in collaborating. And now we try again with Dr. Diana Vitale from IMPLAS in Spain. I hope we are able now to hear and see your presentation.
Thank you. You can see my presentation?
Not yet. Would you like me to run it?
Yeah. So, okay, now you can see.
No, we're not able at the moment.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm actually sure the presentation. I don't know.
No problem. Let me try it from my side. Hold on. Let me just go quickly. It is Diana here. Okay. Are you able to see it?
Yeah.
Can you see my screen now, or is it paused?
Can you see my slide, my presentation now?
No.
No. Okay. Nothing. So okay, now I can see.
Okay. Okay, please, yeah. Why don't you just start? Can you start?
No. I can see the presentation. Now see.
Okay.
Okay, now
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Okay, please.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Do you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so next one, thank you so much. Okay, I'm Diana Vitale. I'm from Plus, Spain. Plus is a technology center with more than 35 years experience in the plastic sector. Next one, please. So our purpose is building a better world by fostering sustainable innovation around the plastics to help business create wealth and jobs and contribute to social challenges. Next, please. Our team in Implies is made up of more than 260 highly qualified professionals between university graduates, PhDs, and especially technicians. Next, please. We are in Implies more than 12,000 square meters of cutting-edge facilities between pilot plants, laboratories, and training sector. Next one. The most revenue is our revenue of Implies company is 24.1 million, followed by clients and member companies revenue. So about our solution are accessible to companies, we have more major input about research development involvement and between international and national project and collaboration, followed by the other companies. And we have the next one, where the major revenue by activity is from research and development and innovation, followed by technological service, training, and at the end, associated company fees. Next one, please. We have a comprehensive management to provide global solution in different sectors from, for example, consumer, environmental, health, and safety laboratory. We have the other departments, circular economy, environment, agriculture, and aquatic environment, and others. Next one, please. I'm from Microplastic Laboratory, and our research team is engaged in multiple projects aimed at developing innovative methodologies from the removal, retention, and quantification of microplastics in different ecosystems. Given the growing environmental concern regarding microplastic pollution, our work focuses on optimizing detection techniques and designing effective strategies for their mitigation. Additionally, we are working on improving the formulation of reference microplastics to ensure they accurately represent real-world materials found in the aquatic environments. These reference materials are being tailored to be suitable for various analytical and ecotoxicological assays, enhancing their applicability across different research and monitoring protocols. The next one. About the call, the project proposal title is not actually confirmed, but is special temporal monitoring of ecotoxicological risk from emerging contaminants in marine ecosystems. The HIMA project will evaluate the cocktail effect of contaminants and propose a portal monitoring solution for sustainable management of the marine environment. We need to carry out the project on lack of information, the cocktail effect on marine organisms and ecosystems, in the critical ecosystems, or in the river discharge, or in fishery interest. The relevance for development of this project, this purpose, is develop an interdisciplinary and integrity approach to evaluate the impact of emerging and persistent contaminants like as nano, microplastics, PFAS, drugs, heavy metals, and nutrients on model species of marine organisms, including the food chain, with particular attention to ecotoxicologically genotoxics and endocrine risks. The innovation is development on innovative sampling, advanced analytical methodologies, multi-species toxicity tests, and spatial temporal modeling. The next one. Actually, the current consortium is currently composed of 13 partners, no India included, from 7 European countries, including university, research institutions, environmental agencies, and technology companies. It brings together multidisciplinary expertise in ecotoxicology, environment monitoring, modeling, and technology transfer, ensuring an integrated and innovative approach to the management of emerging contaminants in marine systems. We actually looking for the profile of the partner sought. We're looking for Indian partner. So the profile is skills to assess the impact of plastics, microplastic, nanoplastic, or small and large marine vertebrates, sea turtles, cetaceans, or also sharks, fish, or commercial interest for human consumption. The possible researcher profile is biology, marine biology, ecotoxicologies, marine ecologies, but it's also we open the other similar profile related or similar to the topic interest for this proposal. The next, please. So that's nothing, this one. So thank you for the opportunity. If you are interested in collaborating for Indian partners, especially, let me know about the chat or from email. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vitale. We're happy that it worked out eventually, and are happy to see that there is already a consortium being formed and that you're actively looking for Indian partners and Indian experts. Thank you so much. And we move to our next presenter, which is Professor Etayaraja Mani from the IIT Madras. Professor Etayaraja, are you with us? Okay, it seems we don't have him right now. So I will just ask again, Professor Mani from the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, are you with us? Okay, then we go next to our colleague, Dr. Pushan Kumar Dutta from the Amit University, Kolkata. Dr. Pushan Kumar, thank you for joining. Would you be able to present?
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I will be able to present, sir. I was trying to share my screen.
Mm-hmm. Are you able to share, or would you like us to share it?
Yes, sir. I'll be able to share.
Okay,
Sir,
please.
is my screen visible, sir?
No, we're just it is not. Okay, let me just try it from my side. Yeah.
Sir, yes, sir.
Oh,
Sir, is this screen visible now, sir?
yeah, it's visible now. Just if you can make it in full screen mode.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. Is it visible now, sir?
Yeah, perfect. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So let me express my sincere thanks to the organizers of this important EU-India Information Network event under the Marine Pollution Call, especially the Horizons Zero Pollution Initiative. We are presenting today from Amity University, Kolkata, part of the Amity Education Group, which is India's leading private university network. While we are early in our R&D journey, we actively engage in several collaborative calls, especially those that aim to blend marine science, AI, and practical deployment. Our strengths lies in areas such as computer vision and machine learning. Put this down. Yeah, computer vision and machine learning, federated learning for environmental data sets, multimedia signal enhancements under extreme imaging conditions. And we are also seeking technology transfer opportunities and research partnerships, especially where academic methods can scale into real-world marine and robotic platforms. Today, I'll walk you into an early-stage innovation in image enhancement pipeline, specifically designed for underwater ecological documentation. Imagine swimming through crystal clear water. Every fin, every coral branch is crisp. Yet the camera on your ROV shows only murky blue haze. Today, we are going to think about how we can fix it using depth-aware color compensation and adaptive red channel enhancement. And what are the challenges and practical limitations to it? That's what we have observed. So this is what cameras mostly see below 10 meters. Red light is gone, edges blur, and objects fade into the background. And this is what we can do after enhancement, color restored, contrast balance, and noise suppress. And this clarity isn't just about aesthetics, it is essential for tasks like fish counting, coral monitoring, and subsea cable inspection. So our work essentially will involve depth-aware color corrections, where physics will help us to undo the ocean's blue filter, adaptive red channel boost because coral and open water needs different treatment, and highlight protection, so we can keep fish scales shiny and not overexposed. So previous work has also tried to fix it. So let us see, these are the technical counterparts to it and the methodologies that we would like to apply in our process. So underwater photography of marine life poses significant challenges due to absorption of light in water, with longer wavelengths being absorbed first, resulting in the characteristic blue-green tinge. Building upon this research, we have tried to propose a novel approach specifically targeting the blue tinge issue in marine aqualife imaging, addressing the limitations noted in an original paper where blue artifacts on where part of images were observed and created visible limitations. Underwater image enhancement remains a critical challenge due to light absorption, scattering, particularly affecting the red spectrum. This work will try to explore the depth-aware color compensation adaptive red channel enhancement techniques, aiming to recover natural color fidelity in submerged environments. We will try to observe their operations principle and highlight ongoing limitations such as spectral overcompensation, textual balance, and overgeneralization failure. So these methods were what we have tried to see that adaptive spectrum restorations with biological feature recognition, which combines color science with machine learning to specifically address the unique characteristics of marine organisms, biological feature segmentation, organism detection and segmentation to employ a specialized convolutional neural network trained to identify and segment marine organisms from the background, create separate processing masks for organism bodies, fins, scales, and surrounding water. So tissue-specific color reference database develop. So this is what we try to do. And for this, we need some kind of a collaboration, that is develop a database of known color properties for various marine species under different narratives. Include reference data from common biological features such as coral tissue, fish scales, etc. So let us begin with the early days. So this is what we have tried to fix in our entire work as to wavelength differential color restoration schemes. That is, what are the different types? So firstly, when we look into this wavelength based, so what will be the different types? First is depth-aware color compensation, whereby we are calculating the scene depth estimation using disparity in blue-green channel intensities, apply differential color correction based on estimated distance from the camera, adaptive red channel enhancement. Instead of uniform red channel compensation, we apply pixel-wide enhancement based on biological feature recognition, fish versus coral versus background, local texture patterns and distance from the camera, and specular highlight protection, identify and protect naturally reflective areas, fish scales bubbles to prevent overcorrection, and apply on protection marks during color enhancement to preserve natural highlights. So these are the effects. That is, if we use an edge-aware smoothing, whereby we can use an app or apply a bilateral filtering at color transition boundaries to prevent color bleeding, maintain sharp edges between different biological structures. We plan to create an anti-blue artifact filter, which will detect potential blue artifact regions by analyzing local color variances, and biological similitude refinement, compared enhanced results against biological reference database, adjust final colors to match known biological relatives for identify species, prioritize perceptual accuracy over mathematical metrics. So begin with the early days of underwater image enhancement, and it has been roughly, we will try to enhance the same between 3 deadlines, but we have tried to research on these works and we have created our own proposal, that is 2010 2014. What we found out that these were the papers, unsupervised color correction method, as you can see, the paper where it was published in the venues. So it usually focused on unsupervised color correction and dehazing. So the SMC paper introduced basic color correction in Python, wavelength compensation and dehazing and fusion-based techniques dominated this period, relying on physical priors and manual tuning. But these techniques had significant limitations and they work poorly in highly turbid or variable lighting. Uniform corrections often overcompensated, introducing new artifacts, and they were in context aware. Everything was treated the same. Coral fish background, all got the same filter. So from this, we came into the next period, that is dehazing color channel compensation error. So in the following paper,
Dr. Pushan, I'm really sorry, but please, you have like 2 minutes left for your presentation.
Yes, sir.
If you
Yes,
could,
sir. So
okay,
these are
because we
the
also have other presenters waiting. Thank
yes,
you.
sir. I'll directly go to the key challenges which were involved in this work. And from 2019 to 2024, these are the following areas or explained work. So what are the villains? Limited visibility, harsh color distortion, noise that mimics plankton, and poor contrast between objects and background. So there were some research gaps, and for this we have introduced a CNN model as a deep learning model that learns to spot patterns like the curve or the dorsal fin or the texture of a coral without us needing to program it manually. So this is how we have created a depth-aware color compensation scheme, and the algorithm uses a CNN trained specifically to detect and segment marine biological structures like fins, scales, and background, and allows for targeted enhancement and depth estimation via color channels, which estimates depth, which we have tried to differentiate from the other models by applying differential color correction based on object distance, which is rare in traditional approaches. So based on these factors, we have tried to induce a certain model and we are at this point of time, we are training the model to create an edge-aware smoothing model, whereby because a parrotfish fin and a water behind it should not share pixels. If they do, our detectors will get confused. We are using a bilateral filter, a smart blur that respects edges. It smooths within regions but stops when it hits boundaries, so we preserve the structure while reducing the noise. So the system summaries is that we try to segment. So this is the light attenuation factor and the image color correction, the formula that we are trying to approach from, and the adaptive red channel enhancement model that we have tried to use based on the blue and green ratio and adaptive color correction plus texture and depth enhancement to enhance the red adaptively. So the limitations, there are some limitations that we have found out in our work is that blue artifacts persist on very pale anatomy, and any model strain in one marine setting may not generalize to others without water clarity or light. Our next step would be to include training across broader underwater domains and refining the balance between enhancement and realism. With that words, I also like to thank one and all, and our academic partners is this research is Computer Vision Department of the University of Bahrain, but we are looking forward to better collaborators so that we can blend physics, biology, and AI. We are getting closer to natural clarity within the surface. With these words, I would like to thank my host. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pushan. And we move next to our presenter, Dr. Dang from the SINTEF Narvik, Norway. Dr. Dang, are you with us? Yes. Hi. Could you unmute your mic?
Unmute. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you see my slide? Yeah.
Yes.
I think so. Let me see if I can go from the beginning. Full screen. Okay, hello everybody. So my name is Ngadang. I'm currently senior researcher at Sintep NAVIC. And I'm working in the environmental technology group. So for those of you who don't know about Sintep, so we are one of the European largest research institutions. So we have the turnover of 4 billion and with about 2,200 employees, and we have over 3,200 customers. And we are very international, and we have a lot of international collaboration, a lot of EU project funding with about 652 million Norwegian crown. And our vision is technology for a better society. And because of that, we work in interdisciplinary, so cross different area for society benefit, but also for the competitiveness of the industry and public sector. So we have office or location at different city in Norway. It's go from further south like Oslo, Bergen, and up to the north Tromsø. So our group is in Narvik. So I'll go straight to the point. So we are not. I'm not presenting a project idea. So we are looking for a consortium to join. So we have a previous experience with EU project. So two big EU projects is one is the GRACE, which focus on oil spill response and remediation. So we work with biodegradation of oil and PAH. And the last project that we involved, it was a spring project, which ended last year. And with that, we have a collaboration with Indian partner, many Indian partner. So this project is about treatment solution for river water. And in that project,
Sorry to disturb. Slides are not moving.
Not moving? Okay,
Not
sorry.
moving. Yes.
I am already at slide 5.
Yeah, it seems that your screen was frozen, like the slides were frozen. But I think, however, it was quite clear your message. And we will also share the slides of Dr. Dang with all the presenters. But I think the message is clear that you are looking for a consortium to be part.
Yeah,
and
we're looking for a consortium to be part of. Can you see my slide now?
We just see your opening slide, not in full screen, but I think your information is there, your email. You have also presented orally the background of Sintef with having a base in Oslo, Bergen, and in Narvik in the far north. So I think the message is very clear. Thank you, Dr. Dang. We will share.
I'm not yet finished. I
Please,
just have
please.
one slide. Okay, so what we can contribute is we are able to perform micro-mesocosm with seawater sediment. We can also perform fin study and sampling and in the Arctic Circle, and we work in very close collaboration with the bioinformatics group in Estonia. So what we can bring to the proposal is that we can do experiment with microplastic in combination with the multiple other pollutants. So we can look into the methane genomic, methane transcriptomic. And by that, we can see the biodegradation pathway in the environment in lab study, and we can also look into the microplastic associated pathogen and antimicrobial resistant microbe. So that is focusing on fate and risk of the microplastic together with other pollutants. So thank you. So that's from my side. So
Thank
just contact if you have a consortium that we think we can contribute. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tang. We will share, of course, your slides with all the participants. And as you said, they're free to reach out to you and your team if they see you as a valuable consortium partner. Thank you so much for joining. And we move to our next presenter is Dr. A. Sundaramanikam from the Annamalai University in India. Dr. Sundaramanikam, are you with us?
Yes, sir, I am here.
Perfect. Okay. Are you able to share your slides?
Yes. Can you see?
Not yet.
Okay, I will try.
Otherwise, sir, I can show your slides. Can you see them? They're on the screen.
Oh, can you see?
Sir, can you see my screen now? Are you able to?
Wait, I will share.
I have shared them already. You can just start and I can move the slides for you, if that's okay.
Sir, wait, sir, I will share it, sir.
Vivek, can you confirm that the slides are visible?
Yes, slides are visible.
Okay, so Dr. Sundari Manikam, please start your presentation. I will operate your slides from
Yes,
my
yes,
side.
okay. Thank you. Good evening and good morning to you all. Myself, Dr. Sundaram Manikam, working as associate professor at Annamalai University. My department is Center of Advanced Study in Marine Biology. Actually, our department is one of the leading department in marine sciences. It is started, first department started in India in marine science. Actually, it was founded in 1957 and UC recognized as a Center of Advanced Study in Marine Biology in 1963. We are pioneers doing pioneer study in coastal and marine ecosystem, estuaries, marine biodiversity. We also pay attention to marine biotechnology, aquaculture, impact of marine pollution, climate change, etc. Some of the international center, FAO, UNESCO, have acknowledged the excellence of marine research. My topic is investigation of plastisphere communities in the dissemination and space speed of marine pathogen, spread of marine pathogen in coastal environment. Actually, you see, thing is, what all the plastic we are disposing into the environment, it is split into fragments and it is enter into the food chain, enter into the biosphere through food chain. The thing is, not only the impact due to the accumulation of plastic, but the thing is, some of the microorganism, it is attached to the plastics. Actually, it is a human-made ecosystem. Plastisphere is a human-made ecosystem. Some of the microbes, it is attached to the plastics because it is a persistent nature. And another thing, it is having the more surface area. Because of that, the microbes attached to the plastics. And another thing, some of them are harmful to the human and marine organisms. Right, actually, sorry.
So should I move to the next slide?
Previous slide.
Previous? Okay, we go back to the specific contribution.
This is the objective of our investigation to characterize the plastisphere. Actually, to identify what are the microbes present in the plastics, that is the first thing. And that is collected from the coastal and marine environment. And another objective is to examine the pathogen transmission, how the microplastics spread the pathogen to the marine organisms such as Vibrio salmonella into the marine organism and marine environment. That is another thing. And next thing is to examine the ecological impact, how the plastic associated microorganisms influencing the immune system and marine population. And another thing is determine the disease outbreak, how the pathogen transmitted to the other organism through plastics. It create the disease to the human and other organisms. Please move next. The output of my research is it will help to characterize the plastisphere communities in various ecosystems such as coastal and estuary, mangroves, and coral reef. Assess the link how the plastics is transmitting to the plastics is transmitting the microbes to the marine organism. We have to assess the link and effect of environment and immunology. Actually, we have to assess how the microbes influence the immune system of the organism and develop the ecological model for the transmission of pathogens. We are planning to develop a model for the transmission of pathogen by microplastics and a policy recommendation. Actually, the output will help to a policy decision and recommendation for managing the microplastics, and the result also will help to manage the and plan the worldwide planning of microplastics management and other knowledge exchange. Please next. Actually, the microplastic. I have experience in microplastic pollution for last 15 years, and I did a lot of work on microplastics assessment and assessment in coastal zones and impact of microplastics on heavy metal accumulation and other things. And we also investigated the microplastics in edible salt and edible fishes, and we found that all the edible salt and the fishes having the microplastics. We have further do the toxicity of the microplastics on fishes and the human being, and looking collaboration in the field of microplastics spreading pathogens. Comparative research in temperate and the tropical region. We are trying to do the comparative research on temperate and tropical region, and the microbial genomic research with the effect of pathogen associated to microplastics, and the sediment modeling, how the sediment is moving the microplastics to the marine environment. That also we are planning, and relevant field and related findings is also important. Seeking partnership with marine biology, metagenetic persons, pollution monitoring and ecological modeling persons, and environmental risk assessment and policy making persons. Please move to next. I have 20 years experience in the marine pollution, microplastic, heavy metal, and marine microbiology, and health risk assessment in the coastal ecosystem. Actually, I have served as a principal and a co-principal investigator, the UC, MOEs, and the state government project, published more than 100 research papers in the field of marine pollution, microbiology, and environmental research. More than 10 papers I have published related to microplastics in leading journal like Marine Pollution Bulletin, Hazardous Material, Chemosphere, Environmental Pollution Research, Frontiers in Marine Sciences, and Environmental Monitoring and Assessment. I have carried out a vast research in coastal habitats, mangroves, and estuaries throughout India. Expertise in coastal water quality monitoring, sediment analysis, bioremediation, microbial ecology, and bioassays preparation. Please move. These are my keywords of proposal. Move. This is my contact details. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation and showing also your vast experience in the field. We move to our next presenter, which is Dr. M. Anand from the Madurai Kamaraj University. Dr. Anand, are you with us?
Yes, sir. Is my screen visible? Am I audible?
You're audible and your screen is up. Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. And is my slides are moving?
Could you move to the next? We just see the opening slide. Yeah, they're moving. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So this is Dr. Anand from Madurai Kamaraj University. And this is a state university situated in southern India. And we have a lab, marine lab called Marine Field Research Facility at Pudumadam, which is situated in Marine Biosphere Reserve region. And we have an expertise in conducting microcosm experiments for ecotoxicology studies for various heavy metals and pesticides. We have done for Ministry of Earth Sciences in the previous projects. And in this call, we would like to propose the same ecotoxicology studies we can propose for microplastics, as well as we also do regular monitoring for climate change and ocean acidification studies with reference to monitoring aragonite saturation state in the Gulf of Mannar and Parkway waters. And also now we started working on ecosystem services. And this is the title. We propose to find an AI-driven multi-sensor system conventional monitoring and assessment of marine pollution source and their impact along the Indian southern coast. Various ecosystems we have proposed, that mangrove ecosystem, coral reef, seagrass meadows, estuaries, and lagoons. So these are the places, hotspots we have chosen, southern India, especially Tamil Nadu and Kerala. From our previous experience on conducting this coastal cleanup day for the decade, we found that, and also from the published literatures, we found that 90% of the waste in Indian beaches are plastics, and including bottles and polystyrene products. So since we are situated in the Gulf of Mannar region, that is a marine biosphere reserve, we know that how sensitive is that microplastics to the marine organisms, especially the coral reefs. And recently we studied the impact of microplastics in the Gulf of Mannar region from the wild collection. And the recent paper is also published, and that's coming in the end of the slide. And in this study, we propose to identify the plastic waste source and industrial waste pollution, which is very close to these mangroves and seagrass meadows. And using the microcosm studies, we would like to find how to derive the safe value, because in India, we don't have a safe value for various pollutants. If you have a safe value for various pollutants, we can decide at the policy level whether we can allow the industry to get operated, or we can have a stringent policy decision in licensing or develop the guidelines. And also, we need to have the ecosystem services value of these mangrove, coral reef, seagrass, and estuarian lagoons all along the southern India, so that any of the activities, tourism or industrial activities, can have a value on the ecosystem level. And this is the project schematic we have proposed. We will identify the site based on the fishing activity, industrial waste discharge, and where the urban or rural riverine runoff that carry most of plastics. And along with the conventional sampling of the study sites, we would propose here AI-driven multi-source monitoring by satellite imaging. It is possible, and we have seen some of the references, and we are new to that concept, and we seek the expertise and partners from both Indian side as well as the European side to detect and classify the pollutants from the image, the sensors, and this will help us to find a real-time monitoring in a long term, as also it will give an improved conservation strategy. This is a AI-driven monitoring. And in the conventional monitoring, this has to be confirmed with the ground truth investigation. And for that, we would like to collect the three different compartments, that is water, sediment, and biota. We would like to characterize the pollutants, and we would like to study some of the toxicity level and its sensitivity to the species by microcosm experiments. And this cumulatively, the findings will lead to policy decision for sustainable development, because we will have the value of ground ground truth information in terms of safety value, and how the organisms could be able to what is the level or the lethal effect what the organisms are getting exposed to, we can find. Based on that and coupled with the ecosystem services, which will be collected through various stakeholders interview and survey, we can derive the ecosystem value of that study sites, so that it will add to the ground informations to the policy making. And we have already find the consortium in Indian partners. We have a leading institute, our own parent institution for marine biology. CA is in marine biology in Parangipettai. We have various expertise to work on various taxonomy level. If you want to go with various taxonomy of sensitivity, study of organisms for ecotoxicology. And we have expertise from Baridasan University to work on plankton level of toxicity. And we have in Alagappa University, the Tondi campus, which is also very close to one of the richest mangrove resources, Karangadu. And we have partners from KUFOS, Kerala University, to work to take care of that ground truth information studies at the entire Kerala coast. And we would like to extend from the presentation, we found that we would like to partner with also Biju Kumar. I observed his presentation. Further, we will have a discussion with him. And this is what the expertise we are looking for. We need to have a AI-driven multi-sensor system expertise who could be able to integrate the RGB level of thermal infrared rays. And this will add value to the project what we propose, because we all have a biologist consortium in India. We look for strong expertise in terms of infrared raise assessment and classify the pollutants in a long term with various images. And this is what we are seeking from both Indian and European Union expertise side. And this is expertise we propose from our department. We have established microcosm lab to conduct experiments for ocean acidification studies, as well as to conduct ecotoxicology studies to various organisms. And some of the publications what we listed is we have already done for heavy metal toxicity testing and ocean acidification studies at microcosm level. And now we are currently monitoring the aragonite saturation state in the Gulf of Mannar and Park Bay region. Also, we are assessing the blue carbon potential in the coastal ecosystems of Park Bay and Gulf of Mannar region. And this is our academic context. I'm open to collaborate at both European Union and Indian side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anand, for this very comprehensive presentation and outlining your expertise. We move to our next presenter, which is Dr. David Cabecinas from the Instituto Superior Técnico, University of Lisbon, Portugal. Dr. Cabecinas, thank you. Are you with us? And yeah, I see you already have your slides on.
All right, I'm just turn out my microphone. All right, are you seeing the slides?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, just let me know. Are they moving?
Yeah, it's working perfectly.
All right, so thank you for the introduction. So I'm David Cabecinas. I work with Instituto Superior Técnico. We are the largest engineering university in Portugal, and I'm with a marine robotics group, which deals with everything related to marine robotics, but our core mission is network robotic systems. And that's what we want to put forward for enhancing a consortium, is to bring technological systems for monitoring of different pollutants, microplastics, ocean variables related to pollutions. So to do this monitoring using cooperative marine robots, both surface and underwater vehicles. So for that, we want to develop and operate a network of marine robots to observe and sample the ocean environment at appropriate temporal and spatial scales while ensuring sustained autonomy at sea. So we have different vehicles, and our vision is to have long endurance vehicles that can continuously monitor and map pollution in the ocean, and also other not so endurance vehicles, but that can have docking stations where they can recharge and do data upload, and like this have a continuous presence at sea. So our systems will be responsible for multiple vehicle mission management and execution, integrated fleet energy management, this cooperative distributed localization and control, and they will do adaptive replanning in response to detected events. So they can measure the pollution and react to different levels or try to find the source of that pollution. So make this continuous monitoring of the ocean environment. We have a long expertise in this field. We do everything related to the design, development, and operation of single and multiple marine robotic systems working in cooperation. Our methods and tools and systems have been tested in the water, in the ocean for over 20 years. We have 8 different robots, including 2 ocean gliders. Those that can endure months at a time at sea. We've been cooperating with in European projects and with partners, for example, in Azores and other European universities for exploiting the symbiosis between marine science and technology on a number of issues in oceanography and marine habitat mapping. So the core tasks that we envisioned to do in a consortium would be design, development, and sea operation of multiple network marine vehicles for this efficient ocean sensing of pollution. These are some of the project highlights where we've participated. So in we did automated geotechnical surveying with cooperative marine robots. So this involved doing a seismic survey with distributed hydrophones on underwater vehicles. The Euromounts project just finished last year and involved radioactivity mapping in ocean environments. So the idea was to have those gliders mapping underwater radioactivity, both artificial and natural, and be able to detect the source of those radiations. And in Project Morph, this is another project where we had several distributed underwater vehicles reconfiguring their formation so that they could better map complex underwater environments. These are partners with whom we have collaborated in the past and the kind of cooperations we want to do in the future. So in marine science, we have had cooperations with NIO in Goa, so an Indian partner, which we want also to collaborate in this call. University of Azores in Portugal, where they have, which are islands in the Atlantic, which a very rich fauna and ocean fauna and flora. And so this is more related to marine science, and we've also collaborated in more marine technology areas. So with BITS Pilani, NIOT in Chennai, and several universities, and also companies like Evologics in Europe. They provide us the acoustic modems and localization sensors for underwater. So this is a short slide with our experience. You can learn more about our past European projects here. I'll just recall the keywords we're associated with. So it's marine robots, surface and underwater vehicles, so they can take the sensors, do the pollution mapping, persistent pollution mapping, long endurance, and doing also adaptive sampling so we can be more efficient in doing the sampling of this pollution. So these are my contacts. You can find them on the PDF that will be shared, and I look forward to collaborating with all the partners present here. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kabishinas, for showing the expertise and the background of your institute, but also very good to hear that you already have experience with collaborating with Indian partners, and you already are gearing up for a consortium already with some partners from India. So this is really good news for us, and I hope you will have more possibilities of networking through this session.
Looking forward for that.
Thank you so much for joining us. And we move to our next presenters, which are, as a joint presentation, I suppose, Dr. K.N. Rajneesh and Dr. Tirumurti Madhavan from the SRM Institute of Science and Technology, India. A very good afternoon, Dr. Rajneesh.
Good afternoon, Professor. Good afternoon, sir. Are my slides visible? I'm going to present the slides.
Yes, they're visible. Yes, just in full
I
screen
go
mode,
ahead with
please.
the presentation. Yes, please. Yeah. So good evening to all people. Good evening to all of you. Myself, Dr. Narayanan Rajneesh. I am a faculty from the SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai, along with my colleague, Dr. Tirumurti Madhavan. So we are at the present working on an MOS funded project on the same, more or less the same theme. And herewith, we are going to present a brief idea that we have. So we are working at the SRM Institute of Science and Technology in Chennai. Actually, it is in the Kanchipuram district, and we are a private institute having many centers in India. And I am heading this lab exclusively for marine biology and marine microbiological work, the Environmental Genomics Lab, which is again housed within the Department of the Genetic Engineering. So my expertise is in this field of microbial metagenomics, production of the recombinant protein in yeast and bacterial vectors. My colleague, Dr. Tirumurti Madhavan, is a bioinformatician who is specialized in the application of artificial intelligence and machine learning approaches for biomolecule development. Below is my and Dr. Madhavan, Tirumurti Madhavan's contact, and there is the website. So the problem we are going to propose here is the integrated omics-driven approaches to identify and engineer efficient plastic degrading enzymes from the plastisphere. So as many of the earlier speakers have said, plastic pollution becomes a never-ending problem, and as we see, it is a perennial problem. It's only accounting to more and more what to say, let us say, pollution of the water bodies, let it be a sea or an ocean or something like that. So hence plastic pollution becomes a major challenge. And we are going to propose this idea of creating a unique enzyme formulation, maybe to address the issue of plastic degradation. So the study is focused on the application of high throughput omics technologies to identify the pathways that are present in bacterial enzymes and how they contribute to the degradation potential. We are going to address all these issues by using the techniques of omics and how we make a meaningful summation of the data that we have so that we can integrate omics as well as recombinant DNA and other approaches. And finally, we want to produce a plastic, let us say a complex, a protein, large protein complex, which may degrade plastic waste with highest efficiency. So we briefly to say about this project, we will be involved in first is deep sea sampling, deep ocean sampling from highly polluted areas in and around Indian coasts. As well, we will be profiling the genes involved in plastic degradation by 16S metagenomics and transcriptomics. Those data that we are analyzed would be subjected to the hidden Markov model to profile the genes or maybe to even predict the genes involved in so that we have a training model. So once this is complete, we propose to use cloning strategies to enhance the enzymatic efficiency of the protein complex. So we'll be using de novo enzyme design and protein engineering tools, for which we'll be heavily depending upon artificial intelligence and ML approaches. So once, so we, as we know that a single enzyme may not do the purpose, we would be performing a HTS screen, which will be able to quantify or maybe even screen many enzymes with their highest degrading efficiency. So since this project or work involves a lot of scientists from machine learning, bioinformatics, recombinant DNA, metagenomics. So therefore, it is very highly essential that we partnership with European institutes who have a similar expertise, so that we can plan to complete the work as proposed. So the sampling involves the brief objectives. These are not finalized, but somewhat to be in place, and we'll be performing deep ocean sampling from the marine sediments, or maybe using an ocean sea sampling, and we get these marine sediment. We would extract the metagenomic DNA and subject it to the NGS identification, and that data which we get from this NGS instrument would be computed to make an in-house database, which is the first objective. Then, as a part of the wet lab study, we would be using that sediment to perform an in vitro treatment of deep ocean samples with some plastic polymers that are synthetic polymers, which would be able to identify the genes involved in the mechanism of degradation via transcriptomic profiling and by using several tools of transcriptomic analysis. This would be also followed up by protein profiling and also by metabolite profiling, so that we have a more or less a unique pathway to monitor upon. So once we are able to get the data from this, we will be performing an enzyme formulation using recombinant DNA technology, and that particular enzyme complex will be subjected to degradation efficiency in the lab as well as in the field, which by which we can maybe profile how much of the enzyme efficiency is. So basically, a small workflow is given here. So plastic samples are there. So we are collecting the environmental DNA, as we call it, and while we are using three different omics strategies, three platforms. One is metagenomics using NGS, metatranscriptomics, and metaproteomics. So the data of all the three will be fused together, so that we get some. We can be able to shortlist maybe a few genes, or maybe a few, let us say, genes that are responding to the plastic addition, so that we get a profile of this, and we would perform an entire sequencing of the microbial consortia, which would be then further subject to wet lab analysis, from which we would be screening genes involved in the production of enzymes. We'll be cloning them in E. coli systems or maybe any other expression vector, so that at the end of the work we have enough recombinant, few highly purified proteins that would be subject to degradation using in vitro and in vivo studies. We are partnering with the National Center for Coastal Research, Chennai, at the moment, and IIT Madras, National Institute of Oceanography. We would be also like to partnership along with European universities who have similar research interests, or who have their, let us say, their expertise in this proposed work. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajneesh, for explaining your expertise and what you're looking for as partners.
Yes.
And
yes.
And also thanks to Dr. Madhavan for the joint presentation. Our next speaker is Dr. Sita N. from the Indian Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. Dr. Sita, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, let me share my slide. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, all. I am Sita. I'm a faculty in the Department of Civil Engineering at IIT Hyderabad. My expertise is in modeling the fate and transport of contaminants in subsurface and environmental waters. I would be happy to join any consortium who are looking for modeling the fate and transport of contaminants in marine environment. I'm interested in modeling the transport of microplastics or nanoplastics, pharmaceuticals, engineered nanoparticles, heavy metals, PFAS, or the pesticides. And through modeling, I would also like to understand the degradation pathways of various contaminants. And I'm also interested in modeling the interplay of various contaminants on each other's fate and transport. For example, the interactions of microplastics or engineered nanoparticles or pharmaceuticals with marine organisms, or microplastic PFAS interaction or microplastic pharmaceutical interaction, and so on. And I have previous experience in modeling the transport of microplastics, engineered nanoparticles, bacteria, etc. in soil and water. For example, we studied the co-transport of clay and microplastics in groundwater. We also studied the co-transport of bacteria and engineered nanoparticles in soil through both experimental work and through modeling. And these are some of the publications. And we also studied the interactions we also studied the fate and transport of engineered nanoparticles through soil in the presence of soil biofilm. So I would be happy to join a consortium who are looking for a modeling expertise. Yeah, thank you. That's it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sita, for offering your expertise and knowledge for this call and for a potential consortium. Next presenter is Dr. Yogang Singh from the Sheffield Hallam University in the UK. Dr. Singh, are you with us?
Yeah, I am there. Can you see my presentation?
Just hold on. We're on the... I think so. Yeah, we can see it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
If you can put it in full screen mode.
Yeah, that's there. Can you all see
Perfect.
it?
Yeah, thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. All right. That's there. Hello, everybody. I am here to present my presentation for the... Can you all see it still?
Yes, all's good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, all good. So, hi everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I am Yogang. I'm a senior lecturer in marine robotics, automation, and control. Today, I'm representing Sheffield Hallam. We are based in Sheffield, in United Kingdom, and I'm based in the School of Engineering and Built Environment. Our expertise comes on the aspect of automation, control, and robotics for this Horizon CL6 call for the zero pollution. What we are focusing on within the scope of this call is basically developing new analytical tools and methods and sensors, where we are targeting a very specific contribution to this scope for this call, where we want to basically provide our expertise in the low-cost marine robotics towards the screening, detection, identification, and monitoring of emerging pollutants in freshwater and marine interfaces. Specifically, this is an important aspect within the Brahmaputra deltas or Ganges deltas within India, as well as within several water bodies where we are doing already the testing of our low-cost marine robots. The basic focus for our development of marine robotics is making it low cost so that we are able to make that technology transfer, specifically within the regions which are still developing and where there's a strong need to develop that technology transfer to the stakeholders who are interested in basically some kind of a scalable, low-cost, decentralized monitoring tool where we are able to engage local communities and also able to provide some actionable data from on river to sea interfaces. As a part of our specific contribution to this scope, screening, detection, and identification and monitoring of emerging pollutants, especially in the freshwater marine interfaces using low-cost marine robot and using a multi-robot system is our expertise, which we want to offer. And the existing technology which we have at the moment is at the TRL range of 4 till 5. And here we have developed two low-cost robotic platforms, which are basically under the cost of, let us say, 100,000 pounds, or in Indian rupees, you can say like 1 lakh, less than a lakh, 1 lakh Indian rupees, which are basically designed for real-time monitoring. These are all specifically designed for shallow waters, tributaries, and estuaries zones. More specifically, these are all 3D printed. Anything gets lost, anything gets broken, it can be easily modified. So very scalable, very adaptable. These are able to cap. We are already doing some experiments of measuring nutrients, turbidity, DOs, dissolved oxygen, and making it adaptable for PFAS or several other heavy metals. Our basically core competencies is that we are offering you some sort of low cost marine robot for environmental applications. So drones which are available for you at low cost, easily affordable, great technology transfer, sensor fusion integration and calibration of for ecological monitoring is another core expertise which we want to offer. Along with that, we are also having the data pipeline creation, where we are interested in collection, where we have done work in collection, visualization, and policy. We have a strong experience in international collaboration, and specifically in using marine robotics in sampling, where we have worked with the partners in Peru and US. I was a part of the lead. I was basically leading this international project with United States and Peru in designing a modular underwater sediment sampler, which was specifically designed for the Peruvian highlands, which have more or less, or basically you can call it the Peruvian water bodies, where we have specifically designed an underwater sampler, which I will give a brief insight just in the next slide, for autonomous and water sediment sampling in the Arequipa region in the Peru. So our technology is available at TRL5, which is basically validated in relevant environment. We have two low-cost robotic platforms already built and tested. We have basically tested the functionalities of navigation, stability, and communication. We are in the process of sensor systems for nutrient and turbidity monitoring, and the calibration is underway. Some insights into previous work: we have basically designed an unmanned sediment sampler, which we used in the Peruvian agricultural water bodies for basically grabbing the core samples which we acquired from the riverbed with no manual interference. Basically, this is a very core aspect of long-term pollution monitoring and long-term aspect of monitoring river bodies or ecological systems, both at sea as well as in the inland water bodies, which are mostly very important aspects both within the Europe and India as well. And this is like one of the only few open-ended sediment samplers which are out there, which can do this job of capturing core sediment samplers from the riverbed. What we are seeking is basically to join an existing or emerging consortium. In this Horizon Europe call, we are looking for partners who have expertise in sensor development. We are also looking for marine science experts and organizations which are doing some cumulative pollution effects or endocrine disruptions, or any other kind of pollution impact studies. We are also looking for modelers who can integrate the pollution data and understand the different variability both within the climate and within the pollution ecosystem. And then we are also looking for NGOs and local authorities for common community engagement, so that we have sites and we have case studies which can support our pilot robotic monitoring systems for the field sites or the field monitoring both within EU and India as well. These are just a very indicative list, and we are open to collaboration with all kind of stakeholders which are relevant to this goal or to this call itself. And we are also open to other collaborative opportunities if there are, and I'm happy to have an email or conversations and develop some more proposals over it. So thank you so much. Thanks, Samrat.
Thank you so much, Dr. Singh, for your presentation. And we move to our next presenter, Dr. S. Anbazagi from the Central University of Kerala. Dr. Anbazagi, are you able to hear us and share your slides? Yeah, could you unmute your mic? Yes, Dr. Anbasagi, is it possible for you to unmute your mic, please? And also you have to like minimize your other screen, like, yeah. And also maybe minimize the gallery of the viewer, of the attendees. You have an option to minimize the Zoom screen so that your presentation is visible. Okay, I think, ma'am, are you able to or should we share the screen from our side for you? Would you kindly confirm?
Yeah, can you like do that?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. We'll hold on. We will just quickly just open your slides. 1 second. Okay, I have them here. Okay, and now I will just try to share. Is it visible?
Yes.
Could you just yeah? Okay, ma'am, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I'm Dr. Anbaragi from Central University of Kerala, which is a higher education institution under the central government. Under the Department of Environmental Sciences, we are working on monitoring of emerging contaminants. Can you move to the next slide? Yeah, we basically work with microplastics and also the contaminants of emerging concern. We also work with several emerging contents like phthalates, PFAS also we work with. We also work with illicit drugs also. Like we try to, with a couple of projects we have completed with Government of India, where we try to analyze the entire beach sediments of Kerala in all the 9 districts of Kerala. Beach sediments, we try to identify the microplastics, and simultaneously we are also working with the emerging contaminants, and we are trying to find solutions where we can degrade this emerging contaminants. We also parallelly work with the risk assessment, health risk assessment, and raising awareness among the coastal communities. Next slide, please. So what we are like, we can you can move to the next slide, sir. Yeah, what we wanted to like establish a scalable technique or innovative technology where we can treat this gray water, or we can treat this emerging contaminants which are being released from the industrial effluents before it is being released into the marine environment. So we have constraints where we cannot work with high-end equipments, and we are capable of detecting and identifying them. So we want collaborators who can provide us deep marine samples as well, or we want collaborators who can help us in modeling, and we can also in turn work with the health risk assessment, and we are also expertise in the epidemiological aspects, where once this being identified, we can go for the back calculation so that we can identify the population being affected because of this release. So we are expecting such kind of collaboration. We have also worked with a PFAS project, as well as we work with microplastics. We are extensively working on that. This is all. And can you go to the next slide, sir? The final one. Yeah, at present, we are collaborating with 2 state universities of Kerala, Mahatma Gandhi University, as well as KUSAT at Kerala. So since we have the expertise in identifying, as I mentioned, we are also expertise in risk assessment. We may be in need of collaborators who work on toxicity or animal modeling studies. Thank you. So we do have several publications on microplastics and emerging contaminants published in Chemosphere, ESPR, Marine Pollution Bulletin. That's it. So this is our contact details. So there are a group of people we work here. So we will be happy to find the exact consortium to whom we can collaborate. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Dr. Samrat, am I audible?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ramasamy. Are you able to share your presentation?
I'll just try. I'll just try. Is it visible?
Yes, if you can put it in full screen mode as well, then we're all
Yeah.
set to go.
Is it
Great.
okay?
Yeah, please, sir,
Is
go
it, is
ahead.
it moving? Is it moving?
It's moving. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Samrat. And I, at the outset, thank the organizers of the European Union India TTC call for this opportunity. This is Dr. Ramasamy. I am working with Mahatma Gandhi University. It's a state university. It has been recognized as one among the within 500 universities in the world, and then recognized as category 1 university by the UGC. And of course, I am working with the Department of School of Environmental Sciences. This is also ranked as the third best environmental science department in the country. And we have multiple expertise in the environment related research, but I would like to focus on the microplastics, which I work with. In fact, I'm not proposing any proposal. I would like to exhibit the expertise we have in this department, and we would like to collaborate, or we would like to extend our expertise to the proposals coming for this call. And I have developed, I mean, in fact, for the past 8 years, my team and myself is working with the microplastics. We could establish a good microplastic research laboratory, full-fledged at this institute. We have essential infrastructure like stereo microscope and micro FTIR and microplastic sampling devices, and then analytical facilities for the microplastics in the lab. And there are other expertise in the department for heavy metal and POPs, advanced oxidation process, climate change, environmental biotechnologies. These are all the expertise available with the department. You can go through the website for the more details of this. And as far as microplastic research is concerned, we have been, as I said, working for the past 8 years. And we started with the monitoring of the microplastic in the sediments of the lakes. In fact, that was one of the first report from India about microplastics in the lake sediment, which we have published in 2017. After that, also, we have been concentrating on the monitoring part of the microplastic of different water bodies, rivers, lakes, wetlands, and even open ocean. I could do some sampling in the Southern Ocean and Arctic fjords. These are all the expertise we have. And then off late, we started working on the food chain, food web contamination of the microplastics, which ultimately goes to the human consumable items. So we have worked on the seafood items, sugar, potable water, bottled water, sea salt. All these are microplastics. We have published the results. And now currently we are working on the terrestrial contamination of microplastic, because the marine environment gets 80% of the litter from the terrestrial environment. So we have been doing with that. I have completed 2 major projects on the microplastics. In fact, the one shown in the PowerPoint is that it's a network project, a GIA funding from National Center for Coastal Research, Ministry of Earth Sciences. That has given me a good opportunity to screen the many of the coastal wetlands of Kerala to study the microplastics in both sediment, water, and biotic components. And currently, I have just completed another project from the state funding agency, Kerala State Council for Science, Technology, and Environment. This is also exclusively for the Vemanal Lake, where again we have done work on the 3 compartments like sediment, water, and biotic component of the lake. And these are some of our achievements, I should say that, because we have written a book on microplastics, perhaps maybe the first book, authored book on microplastic from India, that is on microplastics in human consumption, because many of the diet or many of the food items we consume have the microplastic. The book describes about that. And I could participate in the Indian Arctic expedition and also the Southern Pole, the Indian scientific expedition to Southern Ocean. Both these expeditions, I could work on the microplastic contamination in the water bodies as well as sediment and biotic components. Thanks to NCPR, National Center for Polar and Ocean Research, Goa, Ministry of Earth Sciences, for giving me the support, for giving me this opportunity to visit both the poles. And these are my publications. And publications on microplastics, we have 4 international journal peer-reviewed publications. One book that is shown in the slide, that is Microplastic in Human Consumption from CRC Press, and 2 book chapters, and there are 8 conference presentations. These are some of the publications. I have given the DOIs, you can screen them. And with this, I think I conclude that this is the expertise we have. Whatever the ground truth you want to do after modeling, any kind of monitoring of the coastal environment, wetlands or estuaries, we have the expertise. We can do the sampling and we can analyze and give you the results. So that is what I would like to conclude with this. And these are my contact details. Of course, we do have expertise on analyzing the food items, potable water, all these things we could do that in our lab. Thank you for the opportunity once again.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramasamy, for your presentation. And we're getting closer towards the end, but we still have 2 very interesting presentations. As next is Mr. Martin Dresen and Numa Gremling from Geosys, Germany. Yeah, I see the slides are already there. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Numa will now present.
Yes, thank you everyone for having us. So I will just briefly present our company. Let me see if, I think it's okay. Once.
I think, Mr. Noah, mic was muted.
I apologize. I'm not seeing the slides that I should be seeing right now.
We're seeing the slide. It's saying company profile.
It should be the Geosys slides.
Yeah, we can see the slide. It's saying company profile, Geosys, key topics, application. I think Mr. Dresden, could you kindly take over if Mr. Gremling is not able to see the slides?
Okay, so I'm having trouble seeing the slides, but I see them on a different screen now. So apologies for this. So I would just like to present our company, Geosys. We are headquartered in Berlin, in Germany. We've been doing different projects in this field, geographic information science field, since 2000. So different topics, different things we specialize on would be things like development of spatial platforms, which includes browser-based platforms, but also desktop-based software. We work in mobile development, cloud-based solutions, and so on. So mainly we build platforms that work with spatial data. So spatial data is anything you can put on a map, visualize on a map. We work in different fields. So interesting in this context right now would be, of course, environment, climate, disaster management, monitoring of data in general, remote sensing, anything that's linked to, for example, satellite data and so on. Which clients have we worked for? We've worked for different clients in different fields. So international organizations like the FAO, GIZ, UNDP, World Bank. So these are quite broad projects in different countries. And we worked a lot in the context of these projects, of course, with different national institutions in different countries. So we have a lot of experience with different actors in different fields. So that's just a broad overview of what we do or who we have worked for. So if I'm talking about spatial projects, some of you might wonder, what does it mean, spatial data or geographic information, science or systems? So as a few examples, of course, we have many more, but some of the examples I have in the slides, for example, we have developed a spatial platform for the country of Jamaica, which was used by different government institutions to upload their data and keep track of it over time, share it amongst each other and also with the public. One of the big focus areas of that project was coastal areas, which of course is also linked to pollution and so on. So this would be a web-based platform that different actors can just open in their browser and work with different data. So then also a project linked to climate would be a project we developed a platform for Indonesia. This was a climate risk portal and analysis. So we have thousands and thousands of data sets that were analyzed over time in different charts, in different graphics. And it's also visualized in a browser, and different actors could access the data. And the outcome is a lot of times not just graphs, but also maps. So you really see where something is happening. So the where again here is very important. And as a last project I want to talk about just in this presentation would be a project we completed in Mauritius, the island of Mauritius. We've developed a monitoring system for artisanal fishing, which is affected a lot by, of course, climate change and pollution, marine pollution. So the system allows artisanal local fishers to go out, navigate to a specific location and fish, and they can add what they have fished into the app, and they can also note some data about external factors like pollution that might affect them in that moment. So, yeah. So that's just a few examples. So for the next slide, so really, what do we offer? What can we offer in this context of this presentational project today? So we believe, of course, that geospatial data, geodata, really plays a crucial role in understanding environmental processes in general, what it's linked to pollution or just general pattern, climate change, and so on. All of this has a spatial aspect. Things happen somewhere, yeah. And we believe that by analyzing these data and, of course, the patterns, you can, of course, come to a point where you can make decisions in a very different way. So more specifically, what we do, as I said before, we develop different software like platforms that offer dashboards, interactive maps, tools to analyze the data, so the geodata, but also temporal data, and so on, statistical analysis, spatial analysis, and so on. And of course, we're interested in working with research institutions, companies, manufacturers of specific technologies, for example, because many of these things have a spatial aspect, and we think that we can contribute to working in these projects. So for the next slide, more specifically, what is our idea? As I said before, the spatial aspect is very important. We really believe in that. So we know there are very different sources of data. For example, you have things like remote sensing data, which would be satellite-based data. Then you have sensor-based data you could attach to like UE, or maybe you can have a GPS tracker or tracer that you could, for example, add to a plastic bottle and then see how it moves, because it shows you a lot about different patterns in the ocean. Geospatial data in general, but also outcomes of mobile applications. People are in the field, they note something, they want to save it, share it with a platform. So all this together, you can really make very interesting analysis, maps, charts, and so on. And of course, some buzzwords that I use a lot these days, like machine learning, ML, or AI, artificial intelligence. These things really have changed the field in a way. So you can contribute with these new technologies to having data, but even finding out more about it that was previously maybe not possible. And the ultimate outcome, of course, is for the general user of such a software would be a visualization and monitoring in a dashboard-based software, which could be browser-based or even desktop-based, and that you can pull up that information and not have to deal with the raw data that's super complicated, but actually look at what's been analyzed, have charts and graphs, maps, and so yeah. Okay, so I think that's about it from my side. I hope it made sense. Yeah. Thank you for having us again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kremling and Mr. Dresden. Absolutely, I think it's a very important aspect. Your company could contribute to a consortium with the technology you are offering. Thank you so much. And now we move to our last but not least speaker in the flash presentation session, which is Dr. Bharanidharan from the National Institute of Technology, Andhra Pradesh. Dr. Bharanidharan, are you with us?
Yes. Is the screen visible?
Yes. If you put it now in full screen mode, then I think we're ready to go.
Just a minute. Give me a second.
Yeah, no issues.
I hope it's visible.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Please.
thank you. So good evening, one and all. So myself, Dr. Bharanidharan, representing from National Institute of Technology, Andhra Pradesh, which is one of the higher education institutions funded by Government of India. So basically, I belong to civil engineering, but I work, my specialization is environmental engineering, and I work on fate and behavior of emerging contaminants in environment. So with respect to emerging contaminants, there are many. To name a few, be it surfactants, microplastics, nanoparticles, pesticides, personal care products, and drugs. But with the common thing about these contaminants is that identification and quantification in complex environmental system has become is been a challenge, and then understanding their toxicity mechanisms in aquatic and terrestrial environment is again another challenge. Developing suitable ecotoxicity tests and then standardizing these, making a common thing, is again a difficult question. So for all these emerging contaminants, the point where to start or how it reaches the environment or how do they behave is again a $1 million question. And then being a complex thing, be it water or wastewater, how do they behave with respect to the other pollutants in the environment is always my topic of concern. So in the past, I have dealt with respect to nanoparticles, and then right now I'm working on microplastics and their behavior. So with respect to this call, I would like to pitch or I would like to look further with respect to the factors that drive behind these microplastics, and then how do they move, how do they behave in the marine environment. And so again, for marine environment, mostly the land-based sources add more amount of pollutant towards the marine bases, be it the deltaic region or otherwise where the river meets the mouth or recreational centers all along the beaches, that also adds the pollutants to the marine environment. So I would like to focus on the aging behavior of microplastics in marine environment. That is one thing. And then how do they aging with respect to UV or with respect to wind or water? How do their surface changes? And then because of their surface change, how do they behave with respect to the living organisms? And how do they get part transported with respect to vertical as well as horizontal? And then again, how do they get absorbed with respect to the other pollutants in the environment is again a matter of concern. It can be a heavy metal, it can be PFAS as well as antibiotics. And then given with respect to the salinity as well as their aging conditions, they do behave different. Initial studies of us has documented that, and then still we are working with respect to heavy metals, but I would like to look forward for a mixture of all these pollutants in a complex situation. So these are some of the ongoing works. So we were one group which started 4 or 5 years back. First, we documented with respect to the microplastics in leachate, followed by drinking water, and then the recent one, how do they behave or how do they get adsorbed onto their, how do the metals get adsorbed onto the microplastic surface with respect to aging. So as I already told, so I will be looking forward for collaborations with respect to marine environment. And then these are my collaborators. Within my institute, I work closely with the EC department for developing a sensor for microplastics, and then chemical engineering with respect to how microplastics can be removed from the stream. And then other collaborators are National Institute of Hydrology, IIT Kharagpur, ISER, and then NIT Agartala. So these are my contact details. So feel free to be in touch. And then I have also noted other speakers' contact details. And then looking forward for a positive collaboration. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. And with that, we actually have reached the end of today's almost webinar. A big thanks to all the participants being so patient and listening to this very interesting proposals, project ideas. And I think we have still over 100 people with us after nearly 4 hours. I think that's really a record for us here at Euraxis, having such an extensive webinar with so much interest and eagerness and participation. And it's a great pleasure for me now to hand over the mic to Mr. Pierrick Filon-Achida, who is the head of the RNI section at the EU delegation in India, who has been working very hard with his team over the last several months together with the Indian partners to bring forward this coordinated call. Pierrick, you have been with us from the beginning. You have listened to the opening remarks, but also to the experts, to the scientists. And please give the closing remarks, and we're happy to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samrat. And I will be brief. Just 3 points. Number one, I have seen many good experts on both European and India side. It will be very important that you put together proposals. It's the first time that we have put such a amount of funding on MOES EU side for large projects. So you have to follow very well the guidance on the scope, the kind of technologies, the level of TRLs that are expected. So I wish you good luck and a good India-EU cooperation. The second point is that we are going to also go in touring India with colleagues, including with the support of Samrat, mid of June. So you will have this information on the Euraxis portal. We cannot cover India. India is huge, but we will be to several cities in Pune, in Goa, in Chennai, Pondicherry, and Trivandrum in Kerala. So if you are from that region, there will be an opportunity for you to meet us. Number 3, Samrat has a big task now. He organized this webinar, but he still has to reply to queries. So don't hesitate to ask him. And my final point, as I said, I'm really surprised. It's still 111 participants after 4 hours. So it means you are very eager to have a cooperation. So thanks to the scientists, because you are the beneficiaries on both sides. Thanks to the ministries, thanks especially to MOES, PSA, and all the colleagues at headquarters in the EU and the EU member states. So thank you very much, Samrat. Good luck to everyone. Competition doesn't mean the absence of cooperation. So even if you are in a proposal that is not selected, you will have learned something. It's a process, and you will be in next time, or you will have learned, as I said, something useful. So all the best to all of you. And Samrat, last word to you. And thank you also to my colleague Vivek, who is behind, and the working level colleagues working days and nights here. Back to you, Samrat.
Thank you so much, Eric, and thank you to all the participants. Thank you for our Indian partners with the MOES, the PSA office, and all the presenters. It has been an excellent webinar. I would like to just to keep a memory of this and ask everybody from the panel to put on their cameras, and so that we can just take one picture together. Please, for those who are still with us, if you could kindly switch on your cameras. And let me just, Vivek, please look into the camera. You're looking in the other screen. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for all of you for joining us. And we are really, really looking forward to receive some very interesting queries, hopefully, but also we are very hopeful to see a lot of very excellent proposals coming up in the coming weeks. And as Mr. Pierrick said, we are here to help you, to guide you, of course, if you have any queries which we are able to address, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will share the presentations of all the speakers, and we will share the recording after today's webinar with all the participants. With that, I say a very good afternoon in Europe, lunchtime, hopefully, for all of you who have been with us for so long. You must be hungry, and a very good evening to everyone in India. Thank you so much for joining, and good luck. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.